This is KarsaKKWx. Karsa is my name, KKWx is my empire. Today we are playing a little bit of Waystone Mysteries, and we're looking for a certain redhead. Where's that brown hair? I'm not sure. Who is missing. We're continuing the Tamsworth Part 2. Let's get to it. Last week
we learned of a missing contact of Kara?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure I remember the name. And we went to the city to learn, or the little village, town, shanty.
That she had gone to. Yes.
Yeah, you'll figure out that 6 houses in a row make a village one of these days.
Wait, is that literally the definition of a fucking village?
Pretty much.
Yeah, actually.
Like, it goes crossroad, shack, village, town, city. They're barely above the village definition.
Oh, fair enough. We found the contact's horse and cart because we haven't actually, I don't think, been given a name. L was off.
You were given a name.
Things. Were we?
Yeah,
okay.
from the beginning. In the picture too.
Yeah, I knew about the picture. Apparently, I just forgot to write down the name.
Oh, it's not unusual.
You just kept saying it all last week. Velma.
Oh yeah. Okay, adding that to my notes.
Yeah, you gotta add that to your notes while you Scooby-Doo this shit. I mean, I figured you would have remembered because of that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I even referenced the joke earlier.
Exactly.
God damn it.
You did. This is entirely a you problem, my guy.
When isn't it a me problem?
When it's a me problem.
Yeah, but you're the one that's written the shit. We learned the history of the small town.
Mm-hmm.
Learned that nobody goes towards the mansion up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently nobody could just be bothered to burn it down and be done with it. And now we're in the Tams Inn.
Yes. And I'm getting my notes open so I can see. You want to try that again?
Nah.
Okay.
We're doing it for the content.
All right.
No, but where were we specifically? Like, what was our last thing we were going to be doing?
You ended in Tams Inn because you went to sleep that night, knowing that at 7 o'clock the entire village shuts down.
Yeah, but like, didn't we have plans to talk to somebody?
You were going to talk to the mayor. If you want to call him a mayor. Earl Tamsworth. Basically of the family that founded the village. To Tamsworth or Tams Inn? To Earl Tamsworth or Tams Inn?
What is Tams Inn again?
The inn.
The inn. The only place where it pretty much it could be a restaurant with a inn on it. A bed and breakfast. If there was such thing as a bed and breakfast.
Well, if it's 7 p.m., in universe, yeah, it's probably still up for a little while longer at least.
Just about 7 p.m. Not quite.
Last point. Yeah, at the last point, it was, if memory serves, about 5, 6-ish.
It was
So
five-ish.
you'd have roughly an hour before. Like anyway, yeah. At the end of the last session, you guys essentially had like two options sort of set out in stone, along with whatever you guys actually choose to do. You have the inn that you can head to, the inn slash bar. You're also aware of where the like quote unquote mayor lives. And it's up to you guys where you want to head to.
Well, do we have any pertinent questions for the mayor? I suppose that's the first question. Like, obviously, all roads seem to lead to that creepy, abandoned, far too large, disturbing, ancient, abandoned house over there. But do we want to talk to the mayor about it first? Either way, I recommend we don't go over there until sunrise, at least.
So, you guys heading to the inn, I take it.
Suppose we could go to the mayor and ask him about the further history, if anybody still owns the damn place. Because like, it would explain why they haven't taken a torch to it if the answer is yes.
Well, Cain's gonna head for the end. Well, good luck, have fun. Your voice is annoying.
Note to self, kill Cain with obvious trap due to no interest in looking into the location. Or what?
Note to self, push Cain in obvious trap.
Note to self, grab Francis, throw him into obvious trap.
What's your sharp score?
Doesn't matter.
Lower than yours, but my toughness is higher.
So Nathaniel and Francis are heading over towards the Tamsworth house. Yes.
Yes.
All right. What do you do when you walk up to the door?
Knock.
Hold on.
Lightly.
Nathaniel's whole question was, do we have something worth asking the mayor? We can ask him who owns the house now. Fair enough. Is there anything else before we start talking to him? This is outside the door. Like, Nathaniel puts his hand up. Wait, stop before we knock on the door.
Okay.
Do we
Francis is
have
about to
more
straight
than one
down.
question to ask him?
Well, you can get the history reiterated to you.
There. All right, why not?
And then Francis knocks on the door.
Like about 30 seconds goes by, no answer. You knock again. And as soon as you touch the door, the handle like gets pulled and the door swings open. And there's an elderly woman standing there with a broom. And she just kind of looks at you for a moment. And then right as you take a breath to say something, she goes, "Yes."
Yes.
Is she holding the broom up hostily?
No, she's holding the broom.
No, she's holding it to her side.
Are you
please.
Mrs. Tamsworth?
No.
No.
She is cold. She is clearly looks the woman up and down. I'm assuming some sort of servant.
Well, she's dressed in like.
I love how you start by saying she's clearly and then ask what she looks like.
Yeah, that's true.
Therefore, she is not quite clearly anything.
Yes, she's dressed in like the kind of. It's a very mute ensemble. Grey. I'm trying to think of the word. A cardigan, right? She's wearing a grey cardigan. Like she looks like she's just come from like sweeping up the floor someplace, and is mildly annoyed at being disturbed.
Is Mr. or Mrs. Tamsworth home?
He's asleep. You
Darn.
could probably speak to him. And she leans back, looking at the clock. About 10 minutes.
Oh, he's
Who are
taking a
you?
nap. Fair enough. tell the good mayor that we wish to speak to him, and I don't know. Where do you guys want to go? We got 10 minutes.
And who are you?
Ah, how rude of me. Nathaniel Prenton. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And I am Francis Lake.
She gives Nathaniel a nod.
Mhm.
Says, I'm Wendy. I work for Earl. She points over towards the inn. He usually goes over there in the evening.
If you want to talk to
You'll
him,
have a
you can
bit.
go there.
You'll have a better time talking to him there.
Okay. Now, if you don't mind me asking, are there any distinguishing characteristics? Just because we've never met the man before, just so we know what he looks like.
Well, he'll be assisted by his son. You'll know him as soon as you see him. She
Very
kind
well.
of glances back at the house. Unfortunately, we don't actually have any pictures I can show you. You'll see it. You'll know who he is straight away.
Very well. Well, thank you for your assistance. You wouldn't happen to know any myths or rumors about that many adjective house up there?
She kind of looks up towards the place that you can just kind of see through a corner, a couple of buildings, and it's just like, it needs destroyed. It's a blight on this area.
Yeah, that does seem to be the consensus.
There's been a few attempts. It used to be
What?
more imposing.
Ah. So people have in fact tried to take a torch to it before.
Yeah, she points off towards where you can see it, and she's like, you see that partially burnt piece of roof? There used to be a small tower there above, I think it was the kitchen.
Oh, so it's not just burning all the way.
That was burned, what year is it? It was about 13
19.
years ago.
1920.
She doesn't actually let you answer the question or what year is it. She just immediately said, it was about 15 years ago.
What put it out if you guys hate it so much?
I just stopped.
Oh.
Like, that was the third attempt that week.
And that was the most successful attempt by the looks of it.
Now,
Yes,
third
certainly.
attempt that week. What could possibly drive you to make 3 separate attempts to burn down the same house in a week?
Oh, someone from out of town came in and something about a missing child, apparently. They were in the woods. They weren't actually in the house, which was good. They were found.
So, upon knowing that there's a missing child who, children often like to explore supposedly haunted places, your first reaction was to set fire to the place they may be hiding within.
Oh, this wasn't us. This was the 3 people from out of town who tried that.
So they were trying to kill the child.
No. I don't know the entire story. Something about the child went in the house, got scared, ran off
And they
into
set fire to it,
the
yes, yes.
woods. They found the child. They decided
Arson
the
and
house was
attempted murder.
dangerous. No, this was after they found the child that they tried to burn part of it down. It didn't
Okay.
work. City folk, you know. She just kind of shrugs and shakes her head like, God, weirdos.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that assuming you feel similar, well, I shouldn't say assuming, you obviously don't like this house very much, let me assure you, while our crew is normally associated with preventing acts of arson, we've also been known to engage in a bit of it time to time.
Francis,
Maybe
please,
ask
pubs.
Earl may actually reward you for it.
Cain just
Cain,
sneezes.
you're not there. You're not there.
No, he just sneezes when he just randomly.
I'm sorry, who is Earl again?
The mayor.
There, Mr.
Earl
Tamsworth.
Tamsworth, yeah.
Francis just face palms and says, "Thank you for your time," and drags Nathaniel towards the inn.
Don't need to drag me.
Maybe
I
don't
think
open with telling people that we have openly committed acts of arson.
Why? They seem to be into it.
Yeah, I mean, like, essentially, no one's really made it any obscure detail that people don't like that house.
Also,
Yeah,
as I
the
said,
public-
we're more associated with stopping arson.
Yes.
This makes me wonder: is it possible? Maybe, we should have kept her locked in the back of the locked in the back of my paddy wagon. We could have had our problems solve each other. She wants to burn things; they want this house to burn.
Well,
Problem
I mean,
meets solution.
to be fair, she would have chewed her way out of that van in the intervening week.
Fair enough. Anyone still remember that ritual to summon the demon?
Fr-
You know, that the entire
Francis
thing, and it
doesn't.
would cost you 8 people.
Yeah, Francis just picks up the pace.
Yeah, I actually find it kind of funny because I picture Nathaniel as being like quite sort of not exactly huge, but he's a big guy imposing as a federal agent kind of thing. And then Francis as this really short dude, like tried to grab the tie and pulling him, and Nathaniel just being a rock, unmovable.
Francis is about 5'5".
No. What works
Except
better
Joe
is
would be
like
smaller than
he tries to
Nathaniel.
pull the tie, and Nathaniel just starts walking towards that anyway. So there's a brief bit where he's just like hanging off of Nathaniel as they're both walking.
Because Nathaniel's taller and therefore has longer strides.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys head back over to the end to join.
I'm just saying, if there's supernatural arson prevention, an act of supernatural arson seems the logical counteragent.
I mean, it does.
Is my
The
logic
logic is
flawed,
there.
voices? Is my logic flawed?
You get that little scratching at the back of your mind that tells you the voices are agreeing with you. But no, don't, he's got a point. He's got a point. So yeah, you guys head back over to where Cain is at the end. You find him. He's just recently walked in, gotten a lot of looks from people, considering he's a big guy in a trench coat.
What can I do you for?
Yeah,
Looking
you-
over
as
at
soon as you
Cain?
walk in, you see, if memory serves, I think her name was Marge.
Yes.
Yeah, you see Marge standing behind the pub bar. Don't really have much of a description for her, but you know, she's like a standard. If you've ever seen Hot Fuzz, she looks like the bar owner in Hot Fuzz.
Fair.
Just era appropriate clothing.
Well, I need, might as well say 3 rooms.
Three
Okay, so
rooms.
alcohol is or illegal.
You're gonna take the entire inn? Wow.
Wait,
Are you wanting to have a party? Are you having a Ritz party?
no?
No?
I mean, Cain kind of like pops his head outside, looking at it. Maybe 2 rooms.
2 rooms?
Yeah.
Oh. Hey, Benny! Can you go check and see if those 2 rooms are available?
Yeah, when you glance over to where she's looking, there's a guy about the same kind of age, sitting in a rocking chair, reading a book, and he just kind of looks up and, okay, gets up and then says, yes, they are, and sits back down immediately.
In other words,
Cain just shrugs.
there's
knows.
nobody's been there for a while. What brought you here?
Mm,
Flowers.
What he said. as Nathaniel just kind of walks in. I guess.
Flowers.
Yes, you wouldn't happen to have seen anything sort of like proceed to describe the special moonflower.
Oh yeah. Girl was talking about that a few days ago. I swear she was. I told her about the cemetery that was up by the mansion, and she was asking about some type of lily.
Yes. There's a cemetery by the mansion.
Yes.
That was a
I mean,
plantation.
it's a plantation, so makes sense.
Well, it's not a
All right,
mansion.
well,
It's a
time to add
manor.
another
It's a
adjective.
manor. It's not a mansion. It just really looks big, and
Yeah, 'cause
I
plantations
think
are
of
like-
it as a mansion.
Yeah.
This one day, maybe it'll be a good looking mansion, but no, not right now. It needs to go.
Cain
Oh,
in the
so you
back of his
don't want
head.
it to burn down.
Oh, I would love to see it gone.
Cain in the back of his head. Already plotting out Molotov cocktails.
So,
People have tried that
I'm trying to
before. It
understand,
doesn't
because,
work.
like, a certain amount of urban blight is unavoidable in most communities. Everyone in this town seems to really have an in for that mansion.
And the mansion, by the description, seems
The
to have
mansion,
it in for the town.
kill your dog and steal your.
Okay,
the mansion
it's
kill your
not
dog and steal your
mansion.
car or something. Or?
It's not a mansion. It's a man. But I would love to have a mansion up there someday.
Honey, I work at a school. I live in a little townhouse. Anything's a mansion to me.
It's big enough to be, well, practically
Cain looks at him.
the whole
Jesus
village could
shit.
live in it.
Townhouse. It's not a townhouse. My God, you don't even live there.
Who's Chev?
Francis. He lives in Francis' townhouse. You don't even live there.
Anyway, at the manor, there is a cemetery, and that is where I told the girl to go, and I don't know if she did.
If she went to the. So you've seen that flower at that cemetery?
Yeah,
I see.
'cause she was talking about this lily. I was like, well, there's some lilies up in the cemetery area.
The cemetery, is it like attached to the manor, or is it like slightly off to the side?
Yeah, you could see it from when you were at the crossroads. There's a big iron fence in front of the separating the village from the manor, and immediately inside that gate is this smaller area that's fenced off. That's the cemetery, because you can see little headstones and memorials and stuff there.
I see. Well, like I said, we're mostly concerned about flowers, although it's good to hear that our good friend, managed to get here before us.
You can come with her?
No, we had to make a small side stop. She said she'd come up first and clear the way.
I haven't seen her beyond that day.
Perhaps she's just so excited about the many, many lilies she's found. Anyway, we're all just waiting around for the mayor to be ready so we can talk to him about just some basic questions about the town and the manor itself.
Oh, that manor. Oh, there's something going on there. It's why.
Yeah, that's why I don't quite understand why everyone seems to
Yeah,
hate it that much.
It's kind of funny that as you're saying that, what's his name? Benny comes over and sort of leans on the bar and is like, I don't understand the whole thing with the manor. Like, yeah, it's an old place and it's kind of spooky. A few people have gone missing there, but I mean, you think the place, I don't know, just terrifies the locals. It's kind of weird.
Now, for that information, I hate to say this, but you are going to be getting some drinks with your staying the night.
Well, presumably you have water. I don't suppose you have carbonated water.
Carbonated water? We have booze and alcohol
Yeah, it becomes.
Oh,
very
you should have
apparent.
opened with that. Way to bury the lead.
and a little bit of moonshine
Hold on,
from
hold on,
our local
hold on.
brewer.
It's kind of funny because at this moment, this is when the lighting hits just right that you suddenly notice there's like 30 bottles on shelves behind us. all featuring labels that seem to have something to do with alcohol.
Cain kind of perks up a little bit when she mentioned the moonshine.
All right.
Yeah, there's also like several jugs that are clearly not normal professional productions.
Yeah, we have a local
it's
brewer
the ones
here.
that usually have like 4 X's on.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because you said you have a okay. Like you don't like advertise that you have a brewery, right?
No, they don't advertise any kind of
No,
brewery.
we don't.
Okay.
We don't
good
really
idea.
expect anybody here.
Now, obviously, as an agent of the law,
Oh no.
I
Yeah.
cannot verbally say that I would like a drink.
Mhm.
I can heavily imply it and offer you money.
Look, he'll just take a drink.
Yeah, as you're saying that, Betty kind of just looks to the wife.
What's your poison?
There's a few like meaningful looks and a nod towards Nathaniel and a specific head nod. She then starts like.
What's your
sorta
poison?
indicating a few bottles, yeah, looking for you to give some indication. Let's do the bar thing, just non-verbally, for the federal agent.
What's your poison?
Okay. You just love making my abduction reports. Okay. You know what? Give me something that's made locally.
All right. Hand you the moonshine.
And of course, I can't actually ask for alcohol, but it can hardly be my fault if somebody spiked my drink.
Exactly.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's. It starts handing. All right.
Yeah, as soon as she brings up the like thing of moonshine, Betty will reach forward and be like, "Oh, that's a really nice drink there. I'm just gonna leave this on the bar."
Yeah.
Like quite deliberately placing it in front of Nathaniel. I'm just gonna leave it here for a while.
Now, my question is, considering I don't really give a shit, but what percentage is this, alcohol-wise?
Enough to put you on your ass.
You know what? What's we have to harden us then?
No, there's an actual reason why I'm asking that. Because the higher the content, the better it burns.
Oh, it's gonna burn.
Oh no,
it's,
not thinking
it's
about taste-wise.
Yes, it's within the flammable region. It's definitely
Good.
within that.
Good. Yeah.
Believe me, if it's cut with anything, it's turpentine.
Okay, I'm gonna need.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I'm gonna need an entire jug and the most empty and all the empty bottles you guys have.
Oh my goodness. All right. Starts making a tab. Now you will have to
Yeah.
pay this tab before you can
Okay,
leave.
Cain will already pay it. He doesn't give a shit. He'll just lay
It's
whatever the
so
amount
funny,
is on
as
the
soon
table.
As you're talking about this, you can hear a murmur from a couple of quite old-looking guys in the background, and you swear to God, you hear one of them asking the other one, "Is that guy going to go and start throwing shit at me?" You got a couple World War I veterans there, like, yes, this is how we deal with the Jerrys. Because if memory serves, Comp B hasn't been invented yet.
So,
Realizes
Wait,
what you were
does the
trying.
mayor typically show up around here?
If I remember, weren't anti-material rifles built back then?
I'm not.
I know
I've never
I
said
know
anything
anti-tank
about
work.
that.
So
I never said anything about anti-tank rifles. I was saying Comp B. You're
realizing.
also aware that one of the most useful things against enemy armor is fire.
Yup.
World War I proved that.
Real.
Anyway,
Anyway, realizing that you are going to be probably making Molotovs, I was like, please don't throw those around here.
Don't plan to.
Alright. Anyway.
Yeah, Betty just kind of like pats you on the arm as you're taking like the big fuck off jug of moonshine ready to burn the place down. He's like, this is our livelihood. You burn that shithole, don't burn this place.
Oh, I'm not gonna burn it down.
Right.
We're good.
Right. He fucks off back to go continue reading his book. It's at this point, just when you're mentioning about the mayor, that shockingly, that's when the mayor turns up.
Now, supposedly, he will be assisted by his son.
Yes, the door opens, and as you glance back to see who's coming in, it's a much older gentleman comes in with a big, what the hell would you call them? It's like the fisherman jacket, you know, the really
oilskin.
When it, yeah, when it's like really fucking raining. He comes in wearing that, though actually looks kind of fancy, and he's got his arm held by a guy who looks almost identical to him, except 40 years younger. Like, you could not mistake this guy for being someone else's kid. 100%, this is this guy's son. Very clear.
His gene beat the hell out of his wife's.
Yeah. He's got hold of his father's arm, helping steady him. He's walking along with Cain, quite shaky. It's quite clear that age is taking its toll on his knees for definite. And they basically head in, pick a table fairly near the door. The son gets his father's seat, and then strides over to the bar and just sort of slaps his hand on the table. He's like, "Hi, Marge. Like
Hey, Mr. Tamsworth, here you go. Here's your usual. Like, sit down.
Yeah, she's basically already got this stuff set up, so she's immediately passing him over. He's like, perfect, grabs him, heads back. And they're having a quiet drink.
Alright, now, we don't want to swarm the poor man. Who wants to go and do the talking?
You can if you want. Or the nerd.
Nah, Nathaniel can do it, because he said he wasn't paying attention when the sheriff was talking.
Fair enough. Walk
Alright.
over.
Okay.
You wouldn't happen to be Mayor Tamlin, would you?
Earl kind of slowly looks up, and there's that moment of like, when will people stop calling me mayor? I'm not the mayor. The son's kind of looking like shit.
Burgermeister Tamlin?
Tamsworth.
Tamsworth, sorry.
Tamsworth. Thank you. Yeah.
Burgermeister Tamsworth?
Hmm?
You don't want to be called mayor. He's not a mayor. Is he a burgermeister?
I have
town
no idea
councilman?
what
A city
it's called.
elder?
The fuck is a burgermeister?
Kind of same thing.
Like,
Same thing as a mayor.
The whole thing is, right, this place is that small, it doesn't really have a mayor. You know, it's not a town, it's barely above being qualified as a village. Yeah, probably elder would probably be the most apt, probably. I honestly don't know, because I never researched it because I didn't care.
Well, whatever you wish to call yourself, people around here seem to have a great deal of respect for you.
Oh, and the second last of my line, my son, the last of the line. We founded the village.
Well,
What can I do for you?
first off, you can let me pay for your drinks.
He looks at his son. Did you pay for him? He kind of shakes his head.
I'll signal to the bar, like, yeah, I'm paying, That drink's on me.
They kind of give you a sort of confused look.
Oh, it just
And
goes
then
ahead with it.
Earl mentions, Like he has a swig of his drink and he's like, "We're the ones that get this brought in. We don't pay for it."
Oh, it's that kind of arrangement. Fair enough. In that case, may I shake your hand? People need all the help they can get in these trying times.
Certainly, he puts his hand out to you, like very deliberately. He is still sitting down. He puts his hand out to you. It's that kind of
opportunity to sit down at the table.
Yeah. After he shakes your hand, which is like the kind of very papery kind of feel. Like clearly age is getting on with this guy. He motions.
Yeah,
to
he's
the
an
other
old man. I
seats.
get it.
Yeah, there's a couple other seats, and he motions to them. And it's like, oh, you could bring another one over for your friend. Like nodding towards Cain, who I assume is still over by the bar. Salivating at the idea of Molotovs.
I'm gonna make him. I am gonna make him.
No, it's not salivating at the idea. He's already got the rag in a bottle.
Oh yeah, that's why he's salivating, because he's busy ripping rags apart with his teeth.
They make the poor conversationalists. But in the meantime, you may or may not be aware, and here I'm going to show him the flyer that we have once again.
He kind of
That a very rare, very mysterious moon lily has been spotted in the surrounding area. And apparently, there was another horticulturist who came round by here about, what was it, a week ago now?
It's been 3 days.
Sorry, 3 days? About 3 days back?
Someone mentioned something about that. He kind of leans up on the table, takes out a pair of glasses that are on a chain around his neck, has a look at your flyer. Seems to adjust his glasses as he's noticing a couple of things there with the spelling of certain words. Okay. He doesn't.
Yes,
sound
I know. Our friend had more enthusiasm. Our friend had more enthusiasm than education. Wrong ease, you see.
Well, I mean, if it wasn't for Georgie's business hitting the skids, I mean, this place might be on some radars, but not some radars. It might be on some maps, but we're really out of the way.
Well, so you believe that it was the failure of George's business that did that?
Oh, yes. See, before the Civil War, they made a lot of money. A lot of people came here to work. I mean, you've seen the other businesses, this establishment itself. He nods over to the owners. A lot of the people here this village was started for the plantation to house workers and such. Then, of course, Civil War happened. The plantation kind of dried up a bit, and then Maxwell came into a lot of money.
And I'm sorry, who is Maxwell again?
Maxwell George, the last owner of the home.
Oh, I see. Sorry, please continue.
I don't know what he did or who he was in business with. He came into a lot of money. But then things started going bad. So after the war, you know the whole slavery thing. You weren't allowed to do it anymore, and that hit the business. It went quite hard. And then he came into a bunch of money, so he started putting that money into the business. The stories I've heard, he was also quite a drinker, so a lot of that money didn't go into the business. And then
yes, that most diabolical yet loved of companions, Mr. Booze.
Yes.
Give him a toast.
Yeah, like literally that he picks up glass bird, right? Yes, he was very into his alcohol, from what I've heard.
Into his cups.
Yeah. Problem is, he was apparently not that great of a boss to work for. This led to issues with the building. No doubt, from what I understand, you've spoken with the sheriff. Yeah, the thing that scared him as a kid away from that place, which I'm kind of happy about, is that they found the remains in the stables.
Sorry, hold on. What remains?
A couple of the workers that died in the collapse.
Oh, okay.
Cain's gonna pause for a minute, hearing that. He's just gonna think to himself, God damn it, I called it.
What?
Ghosts.
Yeah, you were saying Nathaniel.
Just getting confirmation that okay, so that's pretty much where all the trouble started. Who owns the place now?
It depends which of the George line is still around. If there are any of them still around, he looks to his son. Would that be? Well, Lydia's got to be gone by now. And he kind of nods. What about her daughter? And he looks at him like, you mean Lydia? It's like, she named her daughter the same. There's this moment where clearly he does not like this idea of like parents naming their kids after themselves. Or like having the same names going down line after line.
When you have 50 juniors, the 35th.
Yeah, you know, Big Jim, Little Jim, Wee Jim, Old Jim, Young Jim. And that whole thing, every single one of them is Jim, son of Jim. Which, to be fair, I'm literally in the same thing. Me and my father share exact same names. Anyway.
Me and my uncle share the same first name.
Yeah, but that doesn't count because that's an uncle.
And last name.
Right, well, you should be nuked from orbit because it's the only way to be safe. so yeah, they have a little sort of momentary conflict, and then it's like would seem the third generation Lydia would have the house, assuming that she hasn't sold it.
Assuming she hasn't sold it, assuming she's still alive. I'm assuming she's not in the village anymore.
No. After Maxwell hung himself, his daughter saw that. She went up to live with. He kind of gestures, like trying to think of what the name is. Like, it's a grandparent or something in Boston.
Now this.
Was it Boston? Yeah, it was Boston.
I mean, seeing something like that would be enough to give anybody the vapors.
He kind of looks at Francis. Give anyone the vapors.
Francis, I thought we agreed that I would do the talking here. I gave you the option.
She saw her father hanging from a tree after he killed her mother in a way that my father and Daryl's grandfather described as beyond explanation.
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, he kind of looks at you with an expression that essentially is the facial equivalent of how's about a nice big cup of shut the fuck up. Like he's straight up giving you that in facial form. Like you do not know what he did.
That is correct.
Now, my understanding, however, was that in more recent times, what was it, 10, 15 years back, some people from outside the town came by and apparently tried to burn the manor down?
Yeah, they were unsuccessful. Something about their kid disappeared in the house for a short time. They thought he was in there. They went looking, couldn't find him. He was out in the woods or something, like playing, you know, as kids do.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe they came across something in the house that they decided they really didn't like. Honestly, if I could afford it, I would hire people to demolish that entire place and remove it from casting a shadow over this village.
The
history
shadow
that-
over him. Shadow over.
To be fair, I'm not making that reference. It's just it's in a location that casts a shadow over the village, literally.
The shadow over.
Yeah, it's a shadow over Tamsworth. It's quite literal.
Well, I heard also, people, that flowers of that sort that we're looking for, that, or rather lilies at least, often grow around the cemetery of the manor.
He kind of pauses, looking off at the roof, and he's thinking, like, maybe? I mean, I know there are a lot of plants that have grown after the place was left to ruin. If you have a botanist, they could probably tell you better. I don't
Yes,
really know, I
I
don't really
do
know
that,
much
yeah.
about it myself, but he kind of gestures to your flyer. You seem to have more knowledge in that field than me. Or
Yes, totally, of course. Well, thank you very much for your time. Is there...
But he glances across at Cain busy doing his Molotov thing, and then he kind of looks back and he says, "Tell you what, I have a feeling you're heading up there, so let's about a little agreement."
I can hardly agree before I hear what the terms are.
If something happens to plantation, no one will ask anything, and you're free to take whatever you feel like.
Well,
Should something happen to the building?
Cain pauses
should
hearing
something
it.
happen to the building? Of course. Well,
Cain pauses
obviously,
hearing it.
as a upright, upstanding member of law enforcement, I must insist that all places receive proper protection under the laws. I'm sure the nearest fire department is quite a little distance away.
Fire department? Do you know where you are?
Yeah, you hear that little heckle from someone at another table, and Earl just kind of
Figure of speech, you Philistine!
I'm sure you will do your best to keep the building intact. I'm
Yes.
sure.
Yes, nothing will happen to the structural integrity so long as we are around. Wait.
Hey, Cain pausing, thinking for a minute, just processing the words of what the mayor said. Wait,
Wait a minute, I'm being sanctioned to arson a building? Just like
and I can also loot it for free? Without repercussions? Fuck you!
Everybody else will have
this
been
was
in the
this
back.
was his point. I mean, this was his point. If he could afford it, because like this is not a well-off village. You know, their primary income source has effectively dried up. That's why so many people leave. The whole thing being, if he could afford to have the building destroyed and the place like basically just completely, scorched earth, get rid of the whole thing, set it back up as like a proper farm, he totally would. The thing is, he can't afford it.
Yeah, otherwise somebody would have driven like farm equipment through it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for your time and the information, my good Burgermeister. It's getting rather late, and this perfectly normal water has rendered me rather tired. Friends, let us retire for the night. On the morrow, we shall investigate that building.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in your investigation.
Investigating.
Be
Cain's
careful.
investigating. Get some more
And if
burn that
anything
place down.
happens, we never heard of you.
Dude, come on, you're not stupid enough that you don't understand that investigation had
I
massive
know,
quotation
I
marks
know.
around it.
I know.
As well, you investigate the lack of fire.
He can just kind of whistling innocently.
So yeah, you guys.
As I make my way up there, I will stop by Cain and say, now remember to hold off until we find the girl.
I know.
Yeah, like it's kind of funny. Like the moment you guys sort of head away, you hear like a sizable increase in chatter of people like actually kind of happy that something finally going to be done about the building. Because yeah, no one likes that place being there. They all want it gone. Just even if the whole place put all their money together, they can't afford a demolition crew. So yeah, you guys
Oh, wait.
go to
What else
bed.
reminds you?
It's about 1:30 in the morning when you start hearing the fish people coming.
What?
Well, it's a good thing I locked those doors ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now we gotta make a mad dash through the remainder of the hotel while they followed
Yep.
closely along afterwards in what is honestly one of the best video game sequences ever made.
Before
You
video
know-
games. That was written before video games.
Yeah.
Before Cain goes up, he is gonna ask the mayor. So, quick thing. But before I go to bed, you know anyone that's got a 20-25 pound sledgehammer?
Maybe Mark?
I'm gonna go borrow that.
Yeah, and just for reference, you do know who Mark is. That's the guy that the sheriff had to translate for.
Oh, fair. by borrow, I mean commandeer for a while.
I mean, you're gonna have to figure out how to ask him. Anyway,
Just get drunk.
yeah, he's like, Mark,
What do you
Mark,
mean decapitated?
No, commandeer.
All right, we'll try and use charades to explain this.
No, just get Cain drunk.
Oh wait, hold on.
He'll
He can
understand.
understand English just fine. So we'll just say, we'll just ask if we can use it, and ask him to reply with either a nod or a shake of the head.
Yeah, but then what are you gonna do if you want something for it? You'll never know.
It's like
Anyway,
I said, just get Cain drunk. He'll understand him.
so yeah, you guys can head up to have your fine night's sleep, which is it goes through completely uneventfully, and you wake up in the morning absolutely well rested and the whole shebang, ready to go arson a building. I mean, investigate.
And where is Elle at this time?
Fuck if I know, you guys haven't said shit about me.
You were told that there was something going
I'm
on.
giving you an opportunity to, if you've got something for Elle to be doing, it's entirely up to you. If not, yeah, then at some point, like in the last
Was Elle not with us this entire time? I thought.
No.
No, he never did. But Elle, you were told that the crew went to Tamsworth, which is just a few hours away, and you could have headed there in that morning and made it if you would like.
No, I choose not to participate in the session. Yes, of course.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, when you guys get there, like when you guys wake up in the morning, you come down. When you come down, who's coming down first?
Well, it's not going to be Nathaniel. He was knocking him back like crazy that previous night.
It'll probably be
Definitely gonna be
Francis.
Cain.
It
Cain's
is
probably
Francis.
hungover.
All right. So Francis comes down, and you immediately see the sheriff standing there talking to the owners. And when you come down, he kind of, oh, just a minute, friend of yours, and he points out the window.
Yes.
It's outside the window. You see Elle with their car, shockingly not covered in mud.
Shockingly, everybody is looking at it and going, "Ooh, wait!
Yeah, there's a whole
This
pile of
is
people.
amazing! How much did it cost? Oh my goodness!
There's
Can
a
I
whole
get a
pile of
ride?"
people working up the nerve to try and talk to Elle about this car.
Francis looks out, smirks, chuckles, and then pinches the bridge of his nose and is like, yes, that is a friend. Their name is L.
Fair enough.
They largely do security.
Probably better go speak to them then.
Yep, Francis grabs his cane, walks out.
About 10 minutes later, Cain finally comes down and gets some water.
Nathaniel just leans out the window and like hungoverly shouts down, "Al! Al! Al!"
What do you want?
Want to help us go commit arson later?
For reference, for L's reference, outside of the Thames Inn, effectively this village it's literally a crossroad with the George Plantation Manor House at one end. The road heads down, other end basically just leads into like forest and stuff at the other end of the small built-up area. The crossroads that you're at, there's a small house which is the like quote-unquote police station. It's literally like a very house. There's also a small general store and the Thames Inn. And there's also the like technically mayor's house, which is slightly nicer than the other houses. But it's essentially the literal number of people that live here is 51. So like you could literally turn your head 180 degrees, see every single house in the area. It's one of those tiny little village crossroads.
Didn't say it was here.
Yeah, so essentially, as he's shouting that out the window, like damn near everyone in the town hears it.
I'm sorry, I was still dying.
Sheriff!
Yeah, I mean, the sheriff just sort of chuckles while he's in there having a little morning drink.
Cain just rubs his head. Like, okay, he's yelling. Okay. Nope.
Francis looks at Cain. Am I the only person who didn't decide to get completely hammered? Yes, I am. Why is the teacher the responsible one? Usually the teachers are the ones that are
Because you're the boring one.
At least I'm relatively lucid.
Fuck off.
He's got you there.
That's where Cain just mutters, kind of mimicking, fuck off.
I mean, to be fair, Cain, you hear some hammering in the distance. Sounds like it might be a few doors down.
Okay, that's it. Get in the sledgehammer.
Alright, you walk a few doors down to where Mark lives. So,
Because I figure sledgehammer,
Oh.
yes, while sword is good, sledgehammer better for breaking down wood.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, you see Mark. He's standing there looking incredibly frazzled, with a sizable hammer in hand, and he is pounding the absolute shit out of the rusted up. What's the word? Brain. Get the word. Pickup. The absolutely rusty fuck pickup. He's basically trying to like batter the bonnet, the hood, back into shape. I mean, technically speaking, I'm calling it a hood. It's more a slab of rust at this point. But he's giving it some good hard smacks.
Cain just kind of wincing at each hit because he's still recovering from the hangover. You know, oh, that hurt. Okay, nope, that hurts. Okay, first off,
Seriously, Al, everyone here is down with it.
Francis will look at Elle. Yeah, the general plan is find our charge, try to burn the place to the ground.
look, I know we met yesterday. Got a plan to take care of the house. Can I borrow that?
He kind of looks at you with the hammer in hand, like. It just goes back to smashing the thing.
Well, fine. If you don't want that manor gone.
You're going to have to actually convince him.
Fair. You know,
You want something of his, therefore, ...
Persuade.
Nice.
trying to think here for a minute. Because if he's wanting, because there is a way I could do this. If he wants the sledgehammer back, I could also leave something in return.
Mm-hmm.
Or since he's clearly got the tools, you could make yourself a giant ass axe.
No, that's going to take like hours. That's going to take all day.
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
won't do that.
He has tools, but they're clearly
The sledgehammer would be better for knocking down shit. Like, sword is good, but sledgehammer would be better for knocking shit.
Well, I mean, this is going to come down to a charm roll, but you're still going to have to like give me some kind of offer on here. What are you wagering to do your charm roll with?
You know what? I'll give you $10.
He doesn't care about money. This is a shithole middle of the place. This is bumfuck nowhere.
Oh, you know what? Okay, you know what? Here. Look, I've got a hunting rifle, back of my cycle. How about that for collateral?
He stops hammering.
Basically meaning you get the hammer back, I get my hunting rifle back.
Right. Now you can do a charm roll.
Probably gonna fail. Even if it does, I'll just still use the sword either way, because fuck it. Oh, make success.
You come back, he has suddenly created a full arsenal.
No.
Aw.
Meaning I probably won't be getting the gun back.
No, I mean that would be like if it fails, then you would lose that. No, I wouldn't actually do that to you. I'm not that cruel.
The gun I gotta fix the gun up then, probably.
He comes over to the fence and kind of gestures to the cycle as like a go on then.
And so Cain's gonna grab the hunting rifle, walk back over.
Yeah, you do a little switch over.
Yep.
And it is a proper sledgehammer. Like it's got a short grip.
It's probably what they'd use for like fucking driving railway spikes in.
Well, it's not a full-on sledgehammer because he's wielding this as a short bow. You know, essentially, like this is more like a impressively large blacksmithing hammer.
Okay.
So okay, so I own some blacksmithing tools. Long story.
You'll notice that I said impressively large. I didn't
Yeah.
say general.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like impressively large, because you could do a lot of damage with a regular blacksmith hammer.
Yes. Well, I mean, this guy is also built like a brick shit house, which is kind of funny. But you've got another guy who's built like a brick shit house. Both of them are clearly strong enough to wield sledgehammers as melee weapons.
Cain's
without throwing themselves into walls while swinging.
Cain's gonna kind of toss the sledgehammer up, catch it. Not bad. Got a good balance to it.
don't think you can do that.
I mean, he could.
I mean, depend. Okay, hold on. Here, what is the pound for that? What is the pound weight for the head of the hammer?
Dude, I'm not looking up hammers right now.
Even a 10-pound, dude. You could do a 10-pound.
Alright, so the main thing is, you effectively now have a second huge sword / huge axe. It's going to do 1 harm less for buildings. Right? This is if you're attacking walls and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than a sword chipping away at shit.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're attacking, I mean, in theory, it would still do the 3 harm if it's a huge sword, but, you know, 10, it's minutia.
Yeah.
You know. So,
For Cain just dual wields both.
I mean, you can try. So, what are you doing now? You heading back to the group?
Yep.
Okay.
I've found Francis. Okay, so start at the beginning. Why have you all gone insane?
Francis lifts the finger to say something. Now wait a minute. They got hammered. I'm not.
And
I
yet you
haven't
still
gone
want to
insane. I was
destroy a
already
building.
there. Because nobody likes it. Nobody wants to
Okay.
go near it. And so far, every attempt to burn it down has failed.
There's a lot
Not
of
from people
don't.
putting it out.
And
Seriously, the town sheriff and the burgermeister asked us to do it.
I look at the sheriff.
He shrugs.
this
and
is
he's
no longer
"I
being, like,
never
shouted."
said."
This is no longer being shouted from the window. This is like,
Yeah, you
About
collect
5
up your stuff and head
later.
down.
yeah.
Yeah, well, as you and Cain have exited the building, the sheriff has come out. He's sort of in the process of heading along. When he sort of feels Elle looking at him, he turns back and there's a kind of shrug like, "Hey, I never said destroy the building. I said it'd be nice if it went. It's up to Earl."
The Earl said basically the same thing, but less sarcastic, as it were. It was a very interesting conversation last night, actually. Quite fun.
So, because some locals have some folk tales about a house and they don't like it, decide that it's time to burn it down.
To be fair, you can glance up at the house and you see that it's clearly a massive amount of ruin. Like, it would probably take 3 times the house's current worth to actually make it livable.
Yep, hold on. They're not explaining to it why it's our problem.
Because
Oh, yeah, I know.
the chances are the person we're looking for is in there.
So, to find them, you're going to destroy it. It seems
No,
like
we're gonna find them and then
perfectly
destroy
logical.
it.
I already talked to Cain about this. We're searching first.
Francis will say to Elle, we have basically been given permission to loot the place, burn it to the ground, as soon as we find what we're looking for. Or at least try to burn it to the ground. He points to the place where there was once a tower. That's so far the most they've managed to do.
So, because there's no repercussions, you're like, okay, let's burn stuff.
No, they're okay, let's burn stuff. I'm all for the historical value. We're gonna stop them if they try.
You see, Al, this is why we need you.
No, see, it's even funnier because, like, Elle would be like looking at Cain. Him, I expect it to. I expect that from him. But from you? And you?
I mean, Elle is surprisingly moral. For someone who has splattered people
Surprisingly.
inexplicable.
Still questioning why. You haven't explained to me why. Just because people don't like something isn't good enough. People don't like you and you're not dead.
He's got a fair point.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you
hear a
go.
faint chuckle from the sheriff. as he's casually leaning against the wall, getting a smoke out.
It's like,
Okay,
Cain's
Al.
like, he's got a fair
We're
point.
in
I don't like
agreement
it.
that like ghosts exist. Al, we're in agreement that ghosts exist, right?
Among a bunch of other things.
Yeah. Okay. Literally everyone agrees that place is haunted. Like
Okay.
bad haunted.
And people have been coming with folktales that may or may not be true for centuries. Have you proven it?
So far no, but the flowers that we're looking for seem to prove that there is at least spiritual activity nearby.
Okay, let me phrase this differently. Would you have these same objections if the mayor had had the money to hire a demolition crew to tear it down because it's a blight on the neighborhood?
No, because that's the proper way to do it. Not some random people who show up and have a penchant for destruction and just not doing something when they decide to go after it.
Yeah, but we're cheaper.
That
It's take a
Isn't-
minute.
a valid argument.
Wait, does that just mean-
Okay, so one of the owners of that house killed themselves in a public display after murdering their wife.
Okay.
Their daughter went off to go and live in Boston. Hasn't been seen since.
Okay.
For whatever reason, nobody's just driven a truck through it. And the one time they tried to burn it down, it got as far as the tower and stopped. Itself.
Yeah.
They also
Sorry.
tried multiple times to burn it down. And one time after a kid got lost nearby, and the parents said something about stuff that happened to the kid inside.
Yeah, they were out of towners.
Look, like try and sort of pull Elle aside a little bit and say, look, if we go in and it's absolutely nothing, or it's like some kind of holy site that needs to be protected, I have no intention of ever setting foot in this town again. Well, that's fine, we can just leave. But if there
This is good.
is some shit going on,
Well, then there's a
we
problem.
got Mr. Molotov back there. Jugs the thumb towards Cain.
I look at Cain. They've told you they've tried to burn it down multiple times and nothing's happened. What makes you think your fire's gonna be different?
Plan on doing some stuff to it.
As in,
You know, what you did with the book?
Do you
So-
know how to perform magic?
You know, I would right now, but a lot of people.
Francis literally facepalms again.
Now, Nathaniel doesn't really understand magic, but he's been around enough of it for a while. If a spell goes badly, anything can happen, right?
yeah, it's up to the
This is Francis talking to the voice. I'm sorry, this is not Francis. My apologies. This is Nathaniel talking to the voices.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Would it be assumed that a ritual to summon and bind a fire demon, when going badly, would cause at least some amount of fire?
Wait.
Theoretically, yeah.
Okay. Does it
Someone
sound,
a
does
fire
it
demon.
seem like, in Nathaniel's head, a good idea to just try and recreate that ritual they were using to summon that one demon lady, but just, not do it correctly by not killing people? And maybe that will start a supernatural fire that will burn the thing down.
Oh, this facepalm.
You'll remember that the ritual going incorrectly was the reason it was pissed off and killing everybody to begin with.
Again, that's not exactly that's not a no. And this was
What-
internally,
Yeah,
the voices.
whilst it's not a no, there is that fact that yes, you are immediately reminded of that entire situation because that summoning was intentionally fucked up. Like, technically speaking, the person in charge of it did exactly what they intended to do. The fact is, their intention was that it not be a complete ritual. So in a way, your accidental fuck up is what led to that. Like, that is the outcome.
we'll file that as a
It
plan.
occurs, yeah, it occurs that it would be exceptionally dangerous to
That's why it's a plan
do
B.
this intentionally.
That's why it's plan B, and Nathaniel has not voiced it aloud yet.
That's fair. But yeah, it does occur that it would be exceptionally dangerous to intentionally do that. The universe will give you a certain amount of leeway if you accidentally, not on purpose, mess it up. But if you intentionally mess it up, it will go way worse than practically anything else.
Sure.
Well, the person we're looking for is anywhere near the building. I suppose we should deal with that. I'm still looking for a good reason to actually destroy the building other than some superstitious townsfolk with folk tales.
Let's just
we
call
won't
it
find
collateral
standing out
damage
here.
and call it a day.
No, we will not do that because it sets a dangerous precedent of every time somebody says something weird, you guys immediately go to burn it with fire.
Well, I wasn't going to go to burn with fire. I'm all for the historical value, like I said.
You
I'm not gonna
are
stop
not
them
trying
if they
to stop them. That is the
No.
same as doing it.
Francis looks at
Good
them.
point.
Okay,
yeah.
looks at Cain. I am not going to physically try and stop him.
You didn't even try to intellectually stop them.
I don't think he can understand me if I tried.
So you are giving me a bunch of bullshit reasons on why you don't want, on why you're not trying to stop them. So really,
Just
you
sitting
agree
there.
with them.
With his mouth open. Okay, one, that's rude. I can actually understand you, even though you're an asshole. And boring as shit.
Like to
Good,
point
you do
out,
understand some minor concepts.
I'd like to point
But
out
we're
that
not
three of
resolving
you-
this either one way or the other standing out here. Let's just go
What?
inside. We'll see what, if anything, is worth burning.
well, I said let's go look for them, so I assumed this was happening while we were walking to it.
Yeah, you guys could be heading up towards the gates.
I would like to point out to the three of you newbies to the supernatural realm that just because something exists, attacking it is not always your greatest idea.
I mean, literally every problem we've encountered so far was resolved by shooting.
Go ahead, shoot the house.
Literally every single one.
Shoot the
I'm
house.
just saying that, like,
Shoot the house!
Francis takes out his revolver and shoots the house. Nothing happens.
And nothing happens, exactly.
The house suddenly grows arms and pounds Francis into the ground.
we don't know for certain that there is a problem yet. But how much do you want to bet that if there is something evil lurking in that house, stopping it will require either shooting or setting the house on fire?
See, that
Francis
wasn't what you
will-
told me to begin with. You led off with, we're going to go burn this building down.
He was in his
I was
defense, he was
hungover and
hungover.
excited to see you.
Everybody's excited to see L. You could have just ended with, I was hungover. Well, most people are excited to see L. Every time I see L, I'm usually being dragged by my collar. Usually because I've said and done something stupid. Like pull my gun out in a bar. Or, in this case, shoot a house. Which reminds me, Francis walks up to where he shot. Is there a noticeable bullet hole with damage there?
So you went straight up to the manor house.
Yes.
You just walked straight up.
Well, I assumed that's what we were doing.
No, we took a
Yeah,
zigzag path, a little bit of a
is-
spiral.
Is that what you guys have done? Is walk straight in, past the cemetery, straight up the main track to the house?
Well, we made
You've gone to the house.
Well, if we're walking through the cemetery first, Francis is going to observe the cemetery.
You're not walking through the cemetery. You walk
There's
past
like-
it.
Don't.
Oh. Oh yeah, there's a cemetery that was
Oh.
mentioned.
Okay, and
It's kind of fun that you've done that because it's at that moment when you break off from the initial party that you walk up to see where you shot. You find a bullet hole in the house, and then suddenly it becomes apparent to the entire group. You can't hear anything. and you don't hear any reactions to the fact that you fired off a round in audible range of the rest of the village.
Now you say we can't hear anything. Can we hear each other, or is it just
But
like we can't hear anything?
you can
out-
hear each other. You can hear the sounds of your movement.
Yeah.
It occurs to you suddenly you can't hear like birds chirping. You can't even hear the wind.
Take a glance back towards the village.
Looks empty. You don't see anyone.
You know what? I got an
Does
idea.
it look like does the village look like it's been abandoned for a long time, or just
No,
suddenly everyone disappeared?
it looks exactly as it did the last time you looked, except no people.
Kane's just gonna walk back, kind of toward the village, until I guess he somehow just magically disappears.
Well, this is the kind of funny thing, because you could swear that you totally did walk down that path, except you haven't moved. The rest of the group don't see you moving. In your mind, you totally walked down that pathway, but at some point you blink and you haven't moved, but you're still walking. Like you notice that as you're walking down past like some of the overgrown, clearly unkept fields, you start noticing a couple of things. Like there's one specific very I forget the name of it. It's like a hand plow kind of thing that the little blades on it are bent in a very specific way. You've passed that twice. The rest of the
You know
group
what?
have not seen you physically move.
Just for the shits and giggles, I'm gonna use the sledgehammer and dent it before walking. Like in my head, walking back. Is the dent still there?
All right. Well, what they see there is that the rest of the group sees you walking over, taking the sledgehammer, and then you basically saunter back.
You feel better?
No.
When you attempt to walk away from it, the next time you see it, it is there. But then you're straight back at the group.
No. Fucking passed that damn thing 3 times now.
I mean, as we all know, El, every old manor house that doesn't need to be destroyed for the good of the town causes weird effects like this.
You know, I was about to say that
Be
we
fair.
have proven that something is weird here, but you had to go be a sarcastic dickhead, so go fuck yourself.
To be fair, all you guys have actually seen is him walk over and smack this thing once.
It's
You
more
haven't-
the fact that, no, Cain would not have just walked over, smacked it. The fact that Cain stood there for 10 seconds staring back at the town that we can all see is abandoned without moving to our view, and then walked over and did something. Cain, you okay, buddy?
I've walked past it twice now. 3 times now, technically. Still.
So one of those looping, I try and walk down that myself.
You take a few steps roughly to in line, more or less, where Cain had moved to, and then the rest of the group sees you stop.
I trip him.
You see yourself continuing. You trip him. If you trip him, he falls flat on his face.
And then I go to
Yeah, there's definitely some kind of like looping space thing going on.
When I got here, all I asked is, have you done any investigation to prove that something was weird was happening? Now that we've gotten here and it's clear that something weird is happening, the first thing you do is come out with sarcasm. Thanks. Real good team play.
He does kind of have a point.
Very well, Al. I am sorry that I was right.
That. You know, if he hurts you, I'm just gonna laugh.
No, I'm just not gonna save him the next time something's coming for him. Because you are operating under a thing called confirmation bias. You had no idea if anything was actually happening. You had stories, unprovable opinions. Just because you happen to be right after the fact doesn't mean you were right at the time.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But are we going to stand around here, John, or are we heading inside?
I was already walking toward the
it's not
house.
letting us go back.
To the door and push it open.
Okay, so when you push the door open, you're greeted with a room that is like a sort of entrance hall, like obviously. There's two large staircases heading up. They kind of curve round to a second floor. To explain what you see on the manor as you were walking up to it, there's a broken down, what looks like it would have been a stable at one point. There's got a bunch of markers around it that kind of look like wooden crosses that have got sashes tied to them. There's about 8 of them, making a circle around this dismantled structure. There's a couple other little spots in the grounds that are like this, old buildings that have fallen over the years. Everything's in disrepair. The way that the manor's set up is it's a large one-floor mansion house. Manor, mansion, we're kind of using that interchangeably. But it's sitting up on a hill. So like as you walk up to it, there's a very sharp increase in the terrain. But the entrance is like one floor down. If you follow what I'm meaning here, it's like you walk in on that floor. There's a staircase that leads up to the actual house. There is
it has a guard floor.
Yeah, there's a big sort of archway between the staircases, leading to a large double doors that looks like it's probably into some kind of like basement sort of storehouse kind of floor, but it's like broken in. It actually looks like there's more like masonry and everything that's fallen into this space than should actually be there. It's completely blocked off. But as soon as you look in, you can see that these staircases lead up to the door to the rest of the manor. And it's like a Civil War era plantation house that's effectively been left almost that amount of time. It's been sitting there for about 60 years with no one living in it, being left to the elements.
What was the girl's name again?
The kid.
This is asking out loud.
The one we're looking for?
Yes.
Velma.
Velma. Nathaniel puts his like hands to his mouth, like he's gonna shout out loud if nobody's gonna stop him.
I'll just
Velma!
start walking up the stairs.
Can you hear us?
Knock twice if you're in danger. Knock 3 times otherwise.
Yeah, because if there's any poltergeists in the room, they totally wouldn't take that opportunity to try to fuck with you.
And they would.
Oh, now
Yeah.
who's using sarcasm?
Oh no, he's actually completely serious.
4 times if you're dead.
Oh, 4 times if you're dead. Okay, so you hear 18 knocks immediately.
Ah, that means they're super duper ultra dead. Got it.
No, that means there's 4 dead ones and an alive one. Now we have to figure out which one it is. I am heading up the stairs in case it got missed.
Yeah. Okay, so when you do that, you can hear some sort of scratching to the east of you. When you walk up, because as you go up the stairs, you're immediately into there's doorways leading into the next area. There's a long corridor and to one side you can kind of hear like some sort of scratching sounds, like someone potentially moving around.
I
Out
go
of
into the-
interest, if Velma is here, is Velma here?
Oh.
What's Velma doing in the storeroom?
I'm currently just exploring around. From what I've heard, is that apparently there may have been other activity, so I was trying to see where the source was coming from.
Yeah, because you've heard a shout.
I know Cain's gonna go up the stairs with L.
Alright, I'm gonna go to the scratching. Let's go find a rat.
Yep, let's go kill a rat.
I said no. I said
What?
find.
Aw. Well, you said find, I said kill.
Right, so every time you find a rat in a building, you kill it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's instinct.
It shouldn't be.
Probably you're right. Well, let's see what. Let's do this crap.
So you guys are heading along the corridor towards where you heard the sort of scratching
Yeah.
sounds. So yeah, you guys head up, and you pass one doorway it looks kind of it's kind of scratched up and everything, but you know there's like glass on one of the doors that's partly broken. You can see into a demolished room. Like I say demolished, it's not actually demolished. Like the room exists, but it's in vast.
It's in.
disrepair.
Yeah, it's bad looking.
Yeah, quite a large open space. As you continue up to the door at the end of the hall, the sounds get a little bit louder, and you can open the door.
Alright, then we open the door.
Okay, you open the door, and Velma, if you can describe yourself and what you're doing at this moment in the storeroom.
If anything, I'm probably floating through shelves right now to see what there is, because as far as I'm assuming, it's still been one day that's passed. So I'm trying to see if there's anything of value, or anything that's of value, or at least edible, I should say.
Yes, but what does your character look like?
Oh, what did these
We've
guys
seen
see
what the
when
character
they-
looked like.
Yeah, but Elle
For
hasn't been
for
given the picture.
for
Oh,
the
fair.
purposes of the recording, and also yes, for Elle's benefit. What do these guys see as soon as they open the door and find Velma rifling through shelves?
I'll probably look up and be like, "Oh, I see you guys managed to get the door open. I couldn't get that thing open for a day now."
It's. Wait. You're
Hold on,
Velma?
hold on.
Can you explain to us what you look like, Velma?
Well, red hair and a woman has like a bluish cloak or bluish robe or whatever like that. I'd say. If anything, like a reddish, like frazzle hair, curly hair, or whatever. Looks like it hasn't been groomed in like a day or two now.
You guys can see the show.
It's a picture that she's using on the screen. So yeah.
I thought step one was gonna be a lot harder.
Yep, same.
Why didn't you say anything? I was calling for you.
You're lucky you got that 2 on the roll. Or more specifically, you're lucky that I rolled a 2.
Oh, come on. What was gonna happen? Someone take harm? Come on.
No, but if that had been a 6, potentially you might not have actually ran into her until next week.
Oh, fair.
Because it would depend how quickly you guys go through the building.
Alright, well, step 2 is apparently dealing with whatever the hell is messing with this house. Which apparently has separated it from the rest of reality.
Oh yeah. You've also been here for over, like, what, 3 days now?
I don't know. I just told you guys were here.
3 days.
Yeah.
From what I've assumed, it's only been a day.
Nope, you've been here for like 3 days.
Hell, it doesn't feel like it. If anything, it's just like, was it first came in here, sundown a few days ago? Or I'm assuming off of what you're saying there a few days ago. Came in here, sundown, found what I was looking for. Apparently tried to leave. Next thing you know, feels like I've been going in circles. We're like, screw it, head up to the manor, and started exploring from there.
Yeah, I tried leaving, walked past the plow twice. 3 times, technically.
Yeah, it's funny. As soon as he mentions plow, you're like, I know that plow. I walked past it 4 times myself.
I hate that plow.
Francis will look at
It
Cain.
burns first.
Yeah, you've been out. When we were told that you were missing, they said you were 3 days late, which means you've been here well over a week.
Cain kind of jumps a little bit, guessing Francis, not hearing Francis climb up the stairs behind him, because he never said he was going up the stairs with us. Yeah, what the fuck?
Did that not get caught?
No, you never went up.
No,
You didn't say you
That's
were.
that too. We're not gonna split up in a haunted house. We have the Scooby Gang. Just because we got Velma.
Yeah, this isn't an episode of Detective Comics.
If it was, it's already be solved.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we
Yeah,
solved half
that
the
guy
mystery.
dressed as a bat that, carries a gun with him, he would have solved this ages ago. He would have just ran in and shot everything.
He's still the world's best detective.
But yeah, Francis is just kind of leaned against his cane, looking around. I don't think this place is removed from reality so much as it might be removed from time, based on that description. Then.
Wouldn't that? It's, you know,
It wouldn't. It's not removed from time.
not getting into this.
So I'm assuming with all of you here, I'm assuming you guys managed to figure out how to get out of this time paradox.
Yeah, you just walk into it. It's out. That's the problem.
Well, I kind of figured that part since I couldn't get my ass out of here. I was hoping if you guys managed to figure it out here since you're all here.
We've been here a total of takes out pocket watch 3 minutes.
Yeah, when you do look at the watch.
Oh no, I don't even crack it open.
All right, okay, fair enough. I will not inform you then. However, yeah, Velma, you do notice that it becomes apparent. You haven't really noticed prior, but now there are sun shafts coming through the windows with boards over them that you weren't really you weren't really noticing before. And it does slightly feel like they might be right that you've been there for the 3 days. It does suddenly feel like you've been there a lot longer than you initially felt.
Oh,
It could also have just been the acceptance too, thinking that I may not find a way out of here in any due time, and probably just thinking that at that point there, it's just only been a day.
I think that you're a little bit hungry, and that's probably why you were in the storeroom.
Looking for something, hopefully that got left behind after all this time.
Well, I mean, this place hasn't been used in 60 years, so, just wipe the mold off. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, some canned items may still be fresh.
If it hasn't been used for 60 years, canning has only just recently been invented, cosmically speaking, in the last, 50...
Well, the thing is, though, too, they could have been pickled or, if anything, jarred.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the fun fact is, you've found jack shit.
You just be vomiting in my mouth at the preference of pickling.
well. Anyways,
You got anything against pickles?
The pickling process, yes.
Cain's gonna start going around room to room, just kind of opening the doors.
I'd say before you go too far here, if it helps, I did manage to sprawl out a little bit of a map, or at least what I'm assuming was something that helped me navigate a little bit. I'm gonna probably just pass it to them at that point so they can take a look and see what I have so far.
Alright, so we'll see if I've actually done this properly.
Alright, Francis, you said that you guys were hearing some stories about the previous owner of this house.
Yeah.
Give me the full rundown.
The last owner killed
Not
his
the
wife
daughter.
and
Okay.
killed his wife and then hung himself from a tree out there in full view of his daughter. Inexplicably killed his wife in apparently a very gruesome fashion. To the point where she went near his daughter went near Catatarn and went to go live with relatives in Boston. Ownership of the manor is now very much contested as to whether or not the daughter is still potentially alive. That's all we really know about it, Chief.
Well,
will
no,
be.
that's a lie. As Cain's kind of just going from opening the door still. Cave in, killed 3 slaves. Or 3 workers, whichever you want to call them.
About the owner.
Slaves, associates. They're slaves.
I'd say
Sorry, go say that again, just slower.
As Cain's just going, slaves, associates. They're slaves.
No. Repeat what you said, just slower.
There were 3 skeletons discovered, 3 in a cave-in area.
Right.
They were
It was
supposedly 8. Oh, I caught 3. I bet. So there's 8 of them. Supposedly workers.
8
Given the
workers
time
died.
area. Given the time, I'm gonna.
No, this happened afterwards.
Okay, never mind.
8 people died when part of the structure collapsed outside. That was the part that you walked past.
Oh, and sheriff.
Table.
Supposedly, when sheriff was younger, some friends, went in what was it, like guard shack? You said for it, where the skull was discovered. Stable. They found a skull there, so.
Did you ask anything else about the previous the previous owner?
I haven't, no. Personally.
Look to the other 2 PCs.
Francis shakes his head. That's really all we know.
I know even the sheriff really hates it up here. He even
Well,
advised
yeah,
even
when
me
you-
going from here.
When you discover a dead body, you tend not to like the place that you find it.
Fair.
This is true.
But you learned nothing else about the previous owner.
No, that's
No.
about it. That's about all we learned. Really.
Okay, Cain, I'm signing you up for some courses at the college.
Oh, I will for that.
You know,
criminology.
fair.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Considering I never really finished high school, I don't think.
We're gonna
It's been years.
tap Francis on the shoulder. Don't worry, you'll have a somebody you know in class.
Oh God. Not
Francis just starts throwing out insults in Latin. Maybe
Hey.
one day you'll understand it.
Oh no, and then in here's the thing, in Latin back to you. Oh no, you'll be a student.
Damn.
Cain in Latin back to France too. Oh yeah, some bitch. I understood every bit of it.
Oh, good. You know at least one other language.
He knows 3: English, Bad English, and Latin.
Oh, and there's also partially another one. So Cain, Cain's gonna switch to Cajun French and just proceed to tell Francis kiss my ass.
Take you to dinner first, Francis says back.
Yeah,
So you
regular
actually know
French.
Cajun French?
Probably knows regular French.
It is literally my fucking job to know languages.
Anyway,
So yeah,
linguistic dick waving aside.
Yeah, the map that Velma has drawn up gives you this. Now, I forgot to add it when I was writing in the names. The bit that says bathroom, that's got question mark beside it, because that is the only part of the place that Velma hadn't been able to get into. And basically, as you're wandering around, like, you see that yes, the labels do match up with the rooms. You're able to find your way around fairly easily. There are a lot of old trophy type stuff sticking around, like in the lounge there's a whole pile of there's a lot of old books scattered around, and there's some like trophies on the walls, a couple wines and stuff. Like, clearly at some point someone in the George family was a hunter and brought their stuff back. And then also when you're going around, you notice that like a lot of parts of the structure are in danger of collapsing inwards. So, there's obviously a lot of spaces that you would be giving. Sorry, I'm trying to close my glasses here so I can actually see properly. There's a lot of spaces that you don't want to go into because you're probably going to get smooshed in a collapse. At one point, when you head around and you find your way into the absolutely destroyed kitchen, you do actually see the remains of the upper tower section that looked like it might have been a grain store or something when it was originally built. And that has basically collapsed into the kitchen and demolished a chunk of it. You can see out several holes in walls and such, smashed windows and the like. And it's when you wander into the kitchen, you kind of notice that as you're looking out, not only is the area absolutely beautiful, like if full-on photography had been invented now, you could definitely make some calendars and sell them for a lot of money. With how nice this area is, that you can look out, and there's an ever so slight blue tinge to the sky, like that's not a normal blue. It's not one that you would normally see. It looks like everything outside of the place is tinted blue slightly.
It's like a blue hue to everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not... Okay. Not the weirdest I've dealt with.
You say that now.
I know. I mean, to be fair, the spider bitch was worse, in my opinion.
That's at least something physical to deal with. Now you're dealing with potentially reality and time warping nonsense.
Oh, that just hurts my head.
Yeah, that's what makes it worse.
Like, Cain's gonna hook his thumb back to pointing at Francis. See, this hurts my head more than he hurts my head.
I can change that.
Consideration. Can we still leave the physical area of the house, even if we can't leave the ground of the manor, even if we can't leave the grounds themselves?
I mean, if you want to attend walking out the door.
That's right. Cain runs and jumps through one of the broken walls.
Okay, yeah, you're
really going to recommend we do not split up, which is why I'm asking. Yeah, can we please
He's doing this. Are
Yeah,
you doing this, Cain?
Yeah.
Okay, so do me a favor. Give me a tough roll.
Sure.
Ah, yes. Ask me the one roll I'm actually good at.
Yes, perfect. Exactly.
Awesome. Right.
You
so
fell down the stairs.
No, there's no stairs involved. As you run up, because you're over to the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at this big hole in the wall, and there's like some smashed up bookcases and books all over the place. So you get ready, you take your big run up, you leap, it goes straight through. You land on the ground outside, and then are suddenly made aware of the fact that there's a whole pile of broken down shit outside. and you fall an entire story face first into the ground below. You've now fallen an entire story. And you are lucky because there's a bunch of there's like a really
There's a bunch of
overgrown
shit down there.
there's a really overgrown bedding of like an old planter there that you land in, and it's the only reason that you don't take harm on this.
God damn it! I was hoping I'd actually take a little harm.
Not quite,
Fuck.
but your pride is severely wounded because you fell in such a stupid way.
I'm
and
here.
you
I'm laughing
squealed.
my ass off.
You squealed.
I'm laughing
Well-
my ass off.
I'll poke their head over the side. Did you learn your lesson?
Oh, that was fun.
And you're lying there half mangled, picking yourself back up, like, it kind of hurt, but it was worth it.
Oh, it hurt, but it was worth it. Completely worth it.
Yeah, until all
And
the
now you
zombies
have
come
the
out of the
shame
graveyard.
walk. Yeah,
Until
it's at this point that the army of zombies come out of the grave and start dragging you in by the feet. You now have to do the shame walk of back in the front entrance and back up.
Who's saying I wouldn't climb back up?
I mean, if you want to climb back up, you can. You're just going to end up even more dirty.
As you start climbing,
Oh.
Elle finds a weak point of the wall, nudges it with her foot, and you fall back down. Yeah, it's not a good idea.
Asshole.
Then we go down to these stairs, open the door. Well, if Francis, Velma, and Nathaniel will at least stand at the top of the stairs, I will open the front door.
Sure.
Francis will.
Again, we
Stay
should
where
not
he
be
is.
splitting up.
Yeah, that's what's. But like all of us just standing in a stairwell is just like, eh.
Yeah.
So Cain,
Yeah, this-
Cain
the door open.
does eventually go back in. Well, at least my back popped out of that.
Yeah. One day you're gonna have to start thinking.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I will let them slide past, walk out the front door, and then just walk back in.
Nothing happens.
Alright, so it's just tied to whenever we stop. Probably right around where you guys went,
Yeah, it's-
catatonic.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
probably right around the damn
With that in
Wow.
mind, I'm beginning to think that we may need to resort to a little bit of arson.
I'm going to disagree from the sheer fact that we can't get that far away from this house.
I think we
That's
start the
fair.
fire deep enough on the inside, and we're outside.
The thing is, I don't think that's going to deal with the actual root problem. And if we don't deal with that, starting a fire isn't going to do anything.
I'd say, if anything, try
Fair
to
enough.
avoid the
What do
fire.
you? Well, okay. What are your suggestions for finding the root problem then?
I would say,
Well-
if any,
Go ahead, Bill.
I was gonna say, if anything, probably try to avoid burning down the property. From what I've experienced the other night, is when disturbing an item at the graveyard, it did tend to rile up whatever was here. But after when I did correct the thing, it did help calm down whatever was there, and ended up getting like this feeling of sadness at some point in time.
So, we have to figure out who is haunting this place, and then send them on their way, one way or another. Then you can burn down the house.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Kane's gonna walk over to Francis, yoink his revolver, unload every round in the revolver, and then just load it up with rock salt.
Could have just took the bullets out.
Okay, so yeah, you are you shooting the floor?
No, I'm unloading it, like taking the bullets out.
Oh, you're actually taking them out. Right, okay. But you said unloading. I'm assuming you're taking the
Oh, no.
Yeah,
so was
yeah.
I.
Everybody thought, well, all right, three of us all thought you were just like pointing it in a random direction and pull the trigger 5 times.
No, it's just loading it with rock salt.
Why?
Trust me, it'll do better. It'll do better if we run into something incorporeal. Gonna do a lot better than those bullets.
Francis takes off his hat and pulls out a salt shaker.
Well, no. See, here's the thing, right? When he hands you back the gun with the rock salt in it, you kind of look at it and think like, how am I supposed to fire a chamber full of rock salt?
Yeah, pretty much.
It'll work.
What am I gonna do? Throw the gun at a guy?
You've done it before.
Francis picks his cane up by the midsection of it, and then hits it against the ground, and a sword pops out. This would be more effective than throwing a gun, methinks.
Considering you've thrown your gun before.
Yeah, because I was out of bullets.
Won't cry about it.
Now I'm not out of bullets. I'm out of a gun. He says, opening the chambers of the revolver, dumping out the rock
All
salt.
the salt immediately drops out.
Yes.
Yeah, shoot yourself. Would have been more effective than bullets.
Francis literally.
There's
holds
no
the salt shaker
gunpowder
just-
in that. It can't fire it.
Yes, that's my point. Now I could make
Yeah.
rounds that fire
It's
salt.
round about this point that you all kind of get this feeling of being watched, and you get this kind of sensation as if somebody somewhere watching this is like, what the fuck?
Well, here's the thing. As I can see the headache growing on Francis, Elle will pull out a small metal tin, open it, point it toward Francis. Hydrocodone. It'll help with the headache.
Francis takes it. Thanks.
Kane's just, well, Kane is purposely giving him Francis a headache because of how many times Francis gives Kane a headache.
Francis gives
then-
everybody a headache.
Elle doesn't take a pill, puts it away. That's specifically for anybody we meet.
This is what happens when you are prepared.
Yeah, what? Yeah, Francis is still confused. Like, I literally carry shit on me for supernatural occurrences. He again holds up the salt shaker.
Oh, you
But
have
do
back guano?
Do you carry supernatural stuff to deal with headache?
Go,
That's
goes
Gwen.
into searches his pockets, pulls out some licorice root. No.
The hydrocodone will do it. Will work faster. For anybody that's unaware, that is basically what Vicodin is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, just making sure. To I think circle back to Nathaniel's question, we need to figure out who is actually haunting this place, or what.
Yeah,
How we
it
deal with-
occurs,
How and
it
why?
occurs to you while you're saying this, you haven't seen any pictures hung up on the walls. Like, you would expect there to be a shit ton of portraits and such. You
Oh,
haven't
portraits,
seen
sure.
any.
You say pictures on them.
Yeah, I was meaning portraits.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. All right. So we're already in the library, or we were already in the library. Let's start there. See if we can find anybody's journals. See if we can figure out why somebody would be haunting this place. Yes, obviously the prime suspects would be the man and his wife. Given the gruesome death she experienced, she's a suspect. Given that he did it, he might be a suspect, although the haunting may have been around a lot longer than that and driven him to do it.
Impossible.
We have a lot of
Indeed.
possibilities, and we need to start finding ways to eliminate them.
Yes,
let's
eliminate the
go.
impossible. Everything that remains, no matter how improbable, must be true.
Yes, that is the sentence.
If you're going to quote Sir Arthur Conan Doyle at me, use it in a proper context.
Hey,
far-
at least somebody got what I was quoting.
As far as he was concerned, everything in there was not supernatural. So as far as what we're dealing with to him is the impossible.
True. Conan Doyle refused to believe in the supernatural.
Kane's just gonna nod his head, like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Sherlock Holmes
Ah, fair.
made you read one of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Hound one. That was a good one.
Yeah. There's the only one you'd connect with, but moving on. So
Hey, it was good.
We'll start with the library, then we'll move to the bedroom if need be. Wait, what was the room you couldn't get into, Velma?
There was a room off to the side that was from what I have drawn up on the map here is that it was connected to the bedroom. Connected from the bedroom and the lounge.
Okay. Well,
Fuck it. I'll open it.
no.
Yeah, but
Oh.
for the purposes, I'm just going to mark that with an X in terms of like you can't get through that. Like
No.
yeah, because this is the one that's question mark.
The bathroom?
Yes.
Okay. I thought it was the room in the top left.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to assume those are rooms that were probably caved in that may have just been inaccessible.
Yeah, like essentially, as you've been walking around the place, you've seen that these areas that I'm marking with the red, these are giant gaping holes in the structure. Like this entire section here is something from further up the building has collapsed inwards, so that entire space is completely filled with rubble.
Yeah, like the top left corner and the top right corner. I wasn't sure if that was just from missing walls or if Velma just never made it into those rooms. That's fine.
Yeah.
No, we start with the library and the bedroom. Then we search the other rooms. The inaccessible room we'll deal with last, because if disturbing certain things rouse the spirit up, rather than deal with that until we have to.
Indeed.
It's from what I've noticed, at least, or from when I was looking for stuff when I first got here, if anything. It always seemed to be mostly wrapped around the graveyard, from the looks of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably where the bodies were buried.
Francis will turn to Velma. What's your deal, by the way? You literally came here with a horse and cart. And a
You can't
cat.
just ask people that.
That's rude.
Wait, my cart is still around? It should be where I left it like a day ago.
They impounded it because it's been a week.
Been a week. It's been 3 days.
3 days, my guy.
I thought she was 3 days late and been gone for longer than she should have been.
No, she intimated to Kara that it should be like a day or two max. 3 days went past, Kara came to you guys.
Oh, so she's actually been gone 4 days, given that they've been here a day.
Yeah.
They've impounded the cart.
And presumably been taking care of your horse.
And cat.
There's
Yeah, I
cat.
mean that is one.
Felix is still okay?
Yeah, she doesn't have the cat with her. When you came into town, you did notice that the place that Cain went to get the hammer, in front of that house was a large sort of yard area, and there was a cart sitting there and a horse standing around looking kind of bored.
Yeah,
As
the
horses
cart.
do.
Yeah.
The cart, to my understanding, looks kind of like a gypsy cart.
It should have had like what looks like just a standard cart with a felt cover on it, something like that, or it looked like it could have come out of the Wild West thing.
Oh, well then I misinterpreted that. Okay.
Well, I mean, the general gist is effectively a player home, just sitting on a car.
All right. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what we're going to. Not really by looking around through here. Could we, or could I rather, attempt to read a bad situation and just get a sort of feel of the vibes of this place? What room should we be going to?
Well, I mean, you're in the perfect room to investigate a whole bunch of shit because you're in the library and there's a fuckload of books all over the place.
I
Okay.
mean, fair. I'd rather we did that.
I'm gonna, if it's good with you, I'm gonna investigate a mystery.
I am non-mechanically just going to start looking through books, specifically looking through journals or genealogy reports or anything related to the family.
That's partially what I'm gonna be doing.
I mean,
But mechanically rolling through.
I'm pretty sure that someone did roll a really good roll and has things that they can potentially use, and I'm pretty sure that happens to be a Mr. No Bitches.
Yes, I do in fact have 3 holds from my thing. Is this connected to previous mysteries we have investigated?
getting that, 'cause that's not under
Connect the
investigating
dots.
mystery.
No,
Oh,
connect the
that,
dots.
that's
is my
under
notes.
that. Oh, right. Hold on, I need to look at that then. I mean, the answer is no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Then why did you ask it? That was
Be-
bad
Because
joke.
how does this mystery connect to the bigger picture? Doesn't feel like it applies yet. And we don't know what the monster we're looking for is and what they can want from us. Actually, yeah, I guess that is a good question. Oh, when and where will the next critical event occur is a good one. Yeah.
Hmm.
Here,
As
now,
Francis
take
is
6
looking at
harm.
the books.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the bookshelves falls over and breaks your spine.
Ooh.
Ooh, broken spine.
Well, that just means we have to strap him to Cain's back.
Oh. Okay, so on where and when will the next critical event occur? If that's the question you're asking, is that the question you're asking?
Yes.
Okay, so as you're, I'm gonna give you this like the in character thing, right? You look through some of the books and you pick one up that kind of looks like a journal, and it looks relatively recent, even though it's like 60 years have gone by since the last time this place was used. As you're flicking through, you come towards the back of it, and you see mention of like this appears to be a journal. You don't know who it's by, but the writing is clearly getting like worse and worse as you're flicking through it. Clearly, somebody's not having a great time mentally. And towards the end, you keep seeing mention of the tree throughout the last like chapter, essentially, of this book. And you do remember that as you were coming up, there's a rather sizable and quite blatant, very large oak tree out the back of the house. I don't care if they're not native to the area, it's an oak tree, shut up. So
They are
there's
native to
this
the area.
massive, what?
They are native to the area.
Right,
Even
well,
I know that.
I can't be bothered looking up deciduous trees in the US because I don't care. The point being, there's a big ass tree out the back that you were able to see. It's clearly seen some, it's had a better time in the past. But you keep seeing mention of the tree, being called to the tree, and the tree talks to me and stuff like that. So you get this impression you may want to head out the back of the manor, which has been established. You can leave the manor house. I mean,
Yes,
it's not actually marked on the map, but like there are a couple of like there's a balcony wrapping around the back of the building. Obviously, it's also in like a lot of disrepair, parts broken down and such. But there are from several of the rooms like doors that lead out onto it, or you could go out through one of the giant gaping holes in the structure.
Giant big holes in the structure. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else would you call them? The structural integrity is somewhat questionable.
True. I would call them doors that have just been born.
You know what? On the very vaguest of allowances, I'll allow it. You can use your door if you want.
Wouldn't they be
Francis
closer
will
to
look at a
windows?
large oak tree. That I believe fits the description of the tree where the previous owner hung himself from.
Yeah, as soon as you head out the back, like, is anyone else going with you?
I hope
No,
so.
I can do it himself. Yeah, we're going with him.
Yeah, I'm going with him.
I just wanted to make sure.
I mean, we gotta the weak guy has to have some muscle with him.
Exactly. So yeah,
The
as
squishiest person
soon as
here.
you guys head up, I'll also mention like the doorway that's blocked from the bedroom and the kind of like sort of changing room sort of area just before you get into the bedroom itself. Both doors are blocked off. The one from the bedroom though, you clearly get the smell of blood when you go anywhere near that. It smells very irony in the air, though ironically not for the reasons you might think. So Yeah, you can head out the back of the bedroom, and you see this giant ash tree. It's quite an impressive giant ash tree because it's a giant ash tree. At the base of it, there are two headstones. One is clearly much older than the other one. One has a name. It looks like it starts with an H, and it's kind of worn away over time. And then at the end of it, you can put together enough that it's like H something George.
Well,
Which, keeping in mind, the previous owner was Maxwell.
hmm.
There does appear to be a small piece of a rope tied around one branch, and the other headstone. The name is clearly it's well worn down. You can barely make out the first part of it starts with an A, but you can't make out the rest of it, and there appears to be a very worn A below it, but nothing can actually be made out on it.
I will say, as Cain's passing that one blocked area where like the smell of blood is, well, that's not ominous.
Yeah.
That's not at all ominous. Oh well.
Is the blood still like very fresh? Or?
No, there's a couple like there's a bit where you can see some blood has come like seeping under the door. It is clearly blood that has been there for decades.
It's there, it's visible, but it's
Yeah,
like a stained mark that got left behind
It's
after time.
really skanky. But the weird thing is, it smells like it's fresh. Or you get the impression when you're standing there that there is the smell of fresh blood in the air. Yeah.
So Cain's observation of, well, that's not ominous at all, is very fitting.
How observating are you?
Being able to smell it, I'm gonna do a quick look into it.
When you head out to the tree.
Nelly. I'm gonna be looking at that rope because I'm just like, oh hey, there's the noose.
It's not complete. It's just a couple bits around the top. It looks like quite some time ago someone went up there and cut that rope. Like it's just a bit tied at the tree.
Does the second gravestone have a name on it?
As I say, it starts. Are you talking about the one that's really worn out? Because that is unreadable.
No, that's that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the other one, it's a name that starts with H. The rest of it, or you assume it starts with H because it's very worn as well. Like this actually looks way older than the approximate time period that these events happened. This is why it kind of becomes apparent. Like you're looking at a grave marker for what you assume is an H George, but the previous owner of the house that you know is the guy that hung himself was called Maxwell.
H.
So, Mr. Crazy, why you bring us out here?
I feel that looking at let's call it the hanging tree at this point.
Pretty much.
The giving tree.
Yeah.
Yes, the strangest book most kids will ever read by Shel Silverstein.
It gives death.
Exactly.
It gives pain.
Unaliving.
It's a gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. It gives pain.
So what are you looking at in regards to what you see in front of you?
Right now, the tree itself.
It looks like a tree.
Well,
If you lick it, the tree tastes like tree.
I am not
If-
licking the tree.
if
If
this is-
anything, I might stab
Probably
the
a
tree.
good idea. I mean, if you stab the tree, then the tree feels like tree. It reacts like tree.
Doesn't bleed.
No.
If this
Damn.
is
Go ahead, Velma.
If this is the same tree I believe it is from a couple of days ago, there, from what I remember seeing when I was first exploring around looking for these lilies I was looking for, there was like a little doll at the bottom of the tree, if I remember correctly. It was like one sitting right by the gravestone, or by the grave marker.
If you follow the indication down, right in front of the grave marker that you can't read anything from, it's well worn. At the bottom of it, there's like a little tuft of grass. Like there's a lot of tufts of grass around the place. Like this would just draws your attention. As you look at it, there appears to be a very small, doll-sized. It kind of looks like a hand lifting up, and there's an ever so faint shimmer of blue around it. That if you move the graph tuft around it, you can clearly see that this is like a tiny porcelain hand. And when I say tiny, I'm talking like a shelf ornament, kind of very small. It's not a doll like, you know, a child's doll, for instance. It's not one of those.
Looks like we might be dealing with
A creepy doll.
no. Well, yes, maybe, but potentially one possessed by a child.
You're free to make whatever assumptions you want.
All I know is it's ghost, and I don't like it. I like ghosts.
Francis, do you have a notebook on you?
Always.
Let me guess.
Francis literally reaches into his
Rubbings.
top pocket.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go get a piece of burnt whatever from fallen house, and put a piece of paper from the notebook up to the gravestone that we can't read, and see if I can get an impression using the charcoal.
What would be
If you make me roll sharp, I'm gonna make Francis do it.
I mean, I don't know if that's really a sharp roll.
Because I mean, it's getting some information that we don't know.
I mean, yeah, sharp would actually be an apt thing for it. I suppose there's not really anything else that would be more apt for sticking a bit of paper against the thing and rubbing it.
Am I really the only one here is sharp?
Dude, I've got a +1.
+2.
I have 0, but I rolled it anyway.
Hey!
What did you get? You got mixed success. Okay, yeah, so you put the paper up and you do your rubbing, and it appears like it could be the name Anthea.
Sweet name.
Man, that's
Okay.
a name.
Might have been his grandparents, or maybe grandparents.
Could be.
But then, as you're doing so, the moment you step back and look at it, and you mention this, there is an immediate feeling like you get this like moment of vertigo.
Like also, the moon lilies are starting to flicker.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Right as, and obviously only Elle would actually see this, is basically what looks like a wraith. Like, skeletal figure in a black shawl. Like, just appears as if it's lunging out from the gravestone at you. And it makes the lunge at you like it's trying to basically try and grab your face and like rip it off down there, and screams. How do you react? Because it's
Well-
like very sudden.
Yep, well, that's unfortunate for it, because it picked the person with the warrior instincts. So we immediately pull out the divine chain whip and we hit it.
It immediately bursts into like smoke. This now becomes visible to the rest of the group. As soon as you whip your chain round, it basically disintegrates into smoke, and they for like a solid 10 seconds, none of you can see anything because you're just engulfed in this smoke.
Okay.
I don't like things lunging at me. If it wants to talk, then it can talk.
Well, with that, Cain's pulling out the sword along with the hammer. He's going to wield both of them.
Okay, the minute you do that, you feel like as soon as you lift both of them up, you feel yourself teetering forward, and you actually have to take quite a wide forward stance to not fall forward with the weight of both of these weapons.
Okay,
Even
fine.
for a guy as big as you,
Put the hammer
this
up.
is cumbersome as hell.
Putting the hammer up, then.
I think you are, or
Hey,
Eh,
I can wish.
Francis just kind of backs up.
Yeah, as the smoke sort of dissipates around you guys, and you're all taking like your battle stances and everything, you get the impression in your head like someone inferring you to leave. Like it just kind of sounds like there's a sort of voice on the wind that's not quite there, like implying get out.
here's the thing.
But it doesn't sound like it's a get out of this place. It's more like a leave me alone kind of thing.
Like small child having a tantrum.
No, I never implied anything to do with a small child having a tantrum. Would you get off the small child idea? Stop it.
No.
The
Urge
only
to make
child
very
involved
bad.
in this has been left from the scene.
Urge to
went
make
off to
very
live
bad
with
joke
family.
intensifies.
So we need to find a small child.
No, you do not need a child of 10.
You're
Oh, this
Child
is
of
gonna
10
be
could do
fun.
this. Find me a child of 10.
so getting that someone's like leave me alone. We would very much like to, except we can't, and something is keeping us here. I'm starting to get the feeling that it isn't you. If you know what it is, you can help us get rid of it, and we'll be gone.
If it may be of any news from what I've seen, at least from when I walked down, I'm just assuming on this one. From all the grave markers that I've seen when walking through here, most of them tend to be at least potentially, what I'm assuming, like I said, from assumptions, is that most of them, or if any of all, were all adults. That's what I'm assuming.
Well, all I'm
So
saying.
I don't think there's anything that's wrapped around children. Because from what I've overheard, part of is that something about the daughter or something like that not being on the property anymore. If she was the only child,
No,
Okay.
that's just Francis jumping to conclusions like he always does.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
yeah,
the
it's just
thing
Francis.
is, the thing is, from what you guys have been told, the only child mentioned in any of this was the daughter of Maxwell and his wife, who saw him kill himself. She was then taken away to live with a family in Boston.
Do I get a response by trying to talk to the whatever the fuck this is?
Yeah, when you basically lay out your intention, there seems to be a faint shift in the air. It goes from that kind of strangely old feeling that came along with the wraith appearing. The coldness slightly lessens, and it's almost like you get the sensation of somebody kind of begrudgingly kind of like there's a faint wanting to accept but not quite sure sensation that you get, and this is from that like sort of feeling of someone watching.
Cain's
Whenever
gonna
Cain-
lower the weapon a bit. You know, I don't like ghosts. I don't like this place any more than anyone else here right now. But look, I want to leave. Y'all want us to leave. So we're at an impasse. So agree to help.
What my very
Get jack
brusque and
shit.
abrasive, what my very brusque and abrasive colleague is trying to say is we didn't come here to disturb anybody. We originally came here to help to look for a missing person, which we have found. Unfortunately, we cannot take said missing person away from here because something is blocking us, or someone. I'm guessing you know what said something or someone is. I'm not asking you to fight. I'm asking you just to point us in the right direction. We will happily leave you alone.
As you say that, you notice the faint glow, like glancing down briefly. The faint glow around that porcelain hand appears to be slightly more glowing.
I will pick up the porcelain hand and hope Cain catches me when I go into a flashback.
Well, when you kneel down and like shift the rest of the grass out of the way, you see that it is connected to a hand, to an arm that is going into the ground, and pulling back a little bit of the dirt. There's a what looks like, now I'm pretty sure it's the figurehead. Is the front piece on a ship.
Yeah, the figureheads are.
Yeah. So this is a model figurehead that you dig up within a few moments. It's a actually quite well preserved mermaid figurehead designed from the front of a ship.
Kane's gonna look at it like the porcelain figurehead.
Yeah.
That's first.
That is what Elle has just dug up.
I will take it out. I will turn to Velma. You wouldn't have happened to find any model ships during your explorations, would you?
Not that I was aware of. But I
Velma,
don't
roll
remember.
me sharp.
Just click the dice, I'm assuming, right?
Yep.
Oh, you can't do any worse than me.
Got a 9, mixed success.
Hey,
I lied. You
not
did
bad.
exactly as good as me.
Yeah. Okay, so racking your brains for a moment, you remember you did actually see there's a very disheveled looking mantelpiece in the lounge. And there's a damaged ship model there. So it might be connected.
Was it a pirate ship? I'm just honestly curious for my own sake.
I think at that point there, they're going to find out by going to where I last saw that thing.
It's like that meme before about the L's future business. Like, yeah, there is no way in hell that someone did not know about that logo.
Right?
It's 100% done on purpose.
Well, good job, Velma. I suppose we'll head to the lounge and see if we can add this to the ship model, and we'll see what happens. I suppose that is the downside of supernatural investigation versus mundane ones.
Yeah,
Lot of
so you guys make your way back to the lounge.
Yep, we're
Of
gonna go
course.
guess and check our work and wait for the explosion.
Yeah, exactly where Velma mentioned. There's the mantle, and there is the ship, and it does look like it is missing a figurehead.
Alright, well, try to attach it.
You put the model up, and it fits into place. And right when you do so, there's a small alcove, like, pops open at the side.
Oh.
We don't hear a giant siren, and all of a sudden everything's made out of fencing and rusted metal.
No, that comes later. That's
Oh,
later.
alright.
Ooh.
Alright, I
Yeah.
checked the alcove.
You check the alcove, and it's empty.
You're suddenly sucked inside.
Yes.
Well, yes, I meant-
a 4-inch gap.
Well, if I'm sucked inside, that would make sense. I'm inside a house.
Hey,
Yeah, at least better be sucked into a painting.
I was making a reference to the Room franchise.
Now I was talking about Dark Souls.
and I was on the loot train.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we were on the loot train and passing through Silent Hill.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's not empty. Yeah, when you check the alcove, there's a journal in there, and taking the journal out and opening it up, you see on the cover it actually mentions Maxwell George, and when you check through it, uh, Francis would be able to spy if he's having a look at the book that it matches the same. There's the same writing style as the one that he checked out earlier. That this is the actual journal of Maxwell George, and it starts off pretty normal. You know, it's like going through all stuff like in his youth of growing up, being taught how to run business. It's very clear this guy's not particularly interested in like business lessons and stuff that his father, you know what, fuck it, his father Hatham is giving you. As it goes through, eventually there's a note where it's like, finally the old bastard croaked. And it gives you the dates that you couldn't actually. It gives you the year that you couldn't get. This was about 20 years prior to the Civil War. That finally the old bastards croaked and left me the house and everything and the plantation. Like, effectively, you could kind of imagine I'm writing this whilst cracking the whip, like, oh yeah, I'm going to get right into that shit. Because as you've been reading this through, this guy is clearly a fucking asshole. Like, he's complete douche canoe. Effectively, the guy at MIT that Elle decided to scare straight, as it were, effectively this is what you would assume that guy would become if given the opportunity. Which of course Elle did their good deed and stopped that guy, or at least gave him some serious reason for pause. And yeah, it goes through. Clearly, he is not a good boss. He's very quickly running the business down. As you're flicking through the pages, reading little excerpts here and there. But you also notice he starts going kind of nuts, and there's discussion about the fact that he mentions the figurehead and mentions selling it to a business guy for a shit ton of money. That roughly lines up with the story of like how the family suddenly came into a lot of money when everything was going really bad, because it talks about like after the Civil War, those pesky assholes saying I can't have my slaves anymore means I have to get rid of them and then actually hire workers. Like, how's a businessman supposed to deal? He gets right into all of that. Eventually, it's quite clear that having to employ people was not his interest, but he did with the money that he made. But then a lot of it he was drinking. Until there's that clear mental snap and he starts talking about the tree and everything. But it's very clear in this journal, there's nothing spiritual going on with the tree. It's clearly him, he has this assumption that his mother is somehow in the tree. Because he mentions about like after she was buried there, the tree sprouted more. Like, he has no idea the trees just happen to do this over time. That specific one, it just really liked being there. Yeah, and as you go through the pages, he's getting more and more crazy, and starts writing in the kind of heinous shit that he plans to do to his wife if she ever talks shit to him. Basically, he's quite abusive asshole. Until eventually, there's a bit that marked. That fucking statue is back, and it's her doing.
Okay.
But you're not sure who her is. It's kind of clear from the writing. He's not even sure who her refers to.
My
And
question
then
is, who's the statue? What's the statue he's referring to?
Well, you can take a guess. It's on the mantelpiece.
The figurehead?
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Take a walk over and examine that statue for a bit. Anything particularly unusual about it?
Give me a weird roll. Let's say we're going to have 3 mixed successes in a row. Oh, damn, we are.
And all the same.
Exactly.
And they're all 9.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What are the odds?
Dad, for a second there, I was going to look through what the actual rolled dice were and see if they were all the exact same.
They're all the same. Well, not all the same rolls, but like all the
Yeah.
same number adds up. I'm like, what
It
the
would have
fuck?
been that would actually be insane if you all rolled the exact same number, because I would be like, I think we're gonna have to roll them again and just double check there's not a break on roll 20. Yeah. So as you have a look at this, and when you lift it away from the boat, the little alcove closes, yeah, you have a look at it, and on the bottom of it is a little plaque. It's almost like it's hidden in some dirt that's along the base of it, because it's on like a little wooden stand. When you clear it away, it becomes very apparent due to the little inscription. This is part of a set of 3. So there's something else missing.
Oh, great. So we've got a scavenger hunt.
And as you're looking across it, you run your finger over the little inscription, which doesn't appear to be something that's actually like, I don't want to use the word legible, but like it doesn't look like it's actually words. It looks like some kind of weird symbols that you don't recognize. But it appears to, it gives you the impression that this is a set of 3, because there is something else missing from the ship.
Well, then I'm gonna inspect the ship, see what's missing.
There's
Oh.
the ship appears more or less complete, except it doesn't have a wheel.
So that's part of it. Is the ship part of the set too, or is it just like the, or is there like an actual other piece missing other than just the
It doesn't
wheel?
have a ship's wheel.
Okay.
You know what a wheel is in regards to a sail
Yes.
ship. Right, good.
Yeah, it's what you use to make it go forward. It's like a
Exactly.
car.
Yeah. You need 4 of them bolted onto the base.
I mean, that would work if it was a steamboat, but okay.
No,
Nah, man, it just
Or paddle boat.
reduced the amount of men you needed to run it down a hill.
Exactly. It's like charge full force. Sail me over there. I need to hit them with my sword.
Okay.
Although, while you're having a look at the thing, it becomes apparent that you feel like you want to move away. There's that feeling of vertigo.
Oh, let me guess. Tell me to back off from the ship.
Yes.
In here, I was actually gonna do something nice. I was actually gonna clean it. Whatever.
I mean, are you heading away?
Oh yeah, I'm actually backing off.
Are you
Like,
informing the rest of the group?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
I wouldn't go in near it. Vertigo thing. Guessing you felt the same thing when you picked up the porcelain figurehead elf.
No. When I did the rubbing and made the
Oh.
guess that it was his parents.
Yeah, feeling near the ship, and getting the feeling of yeah, no.
Well, if it's like what I did, it means you drew its attention.
Oh, I mean, that was it. Honestly, I just really just wanted to clean it. I like ships, especially model
Yeah.
ships.
He apparently doesn't.
Fair.
Yeah, as you're talking about this, you can kind of feel, you almost feel like there's a static in the air.
Alright. So we need to find the third piece. Maybe putting it together will force him out.
Probably.
That's when the bad thing happens. As soon as you say that about putting the whole thing together, the fireplace, you all immediately feel a burst of static, and the fireplace erupts into flames. What are you doing?
Great. Poltergeist. Yay.
Jumping back.
We've got one person acting sensibly.
Having no idea that Velma is a PC, I'm going to actually roll for protect somebody. Gonna dive and knock them out of the way. Basically interpose myself.
What is the thing for that?
Protect someone.
Yeah. It's you roll a
Oh.
yeah. I can roll it and I just don't have to roll technically. That's
Well,
only in
no,
combat.
What?
I've got this.
You got what?
I can only do it in combat though,
Oh,
technically.
Yeah. Alright. Yep. Oh, right. Pop thing. Mixed success. 7+, you protect them okay, but you'll suffer some or all of the harm. That's fine. I'll take it all.
Yeah.
Then how close is Nathaniel to it? Or did Nathaniel back off?
I'm here.
No, did you back away from the fireplace or?
Oh no.
There's
Okay, so Cain's gonna yank you back. I'm going to do the exact protect someone.
Yeah.
As you're grabbed by this big dude and shoved back.
Oh god damn!
Oh, failure.
That means they both eat it.
Somebody's getting some XP. Yeah. Alright, so
Meanwhile, Francis saves himself, earns no XP.
I mean, I didn't earn anything either.
pretty much. Yeah. So
Oh, I need one more.
yeah, you know what? It's got to be one each to those that take it.
Alright,
So hey, that is 3 fire points for me. Hell yeah!
Alright, then I take nothing.
Fire
Yeah.
points.
Yes, he took
Oh.
a thing that gives them bonuses when he takes harm.
Oh wait, I don't take any harm sadly, but
Yeah, which means you don't get any fire. You actually have to take the harm, buddy.
But armor protects me from the one harm.
Yes.
I literally have an armored coat.
Yeah, well.
No, to be fair, Mr. Ghost doesn't know that. This was his first thing, assuming we're all normal people who will just take the fire damage and be like, oh!
Yeah, at
But
any rate,
Nathaniel,
as it is,
you're wearing
as it
your
is
armor,
now-
right?
Yeah, but even without the armor, I wouldn't have taken this damage.
But goddamn, me rolling a failure twice in one session.
So yeah, you guys eat it, and you end up taking a point of damage.
Well, we don't take anything because armor.
Yeah, actually.
But
even
no,
though,
you don't because of armor.
even though Nathaniel would still take the damage because of the failure to protect somebody, he has armor too.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair. So,
I've got the 1 armor point. I think Nathaniel's got like 2.
mhm.
Oh, look at Velma. You okay? As there's a small smoldering on the back of their suit.
Yeah, I'm okay. Wasn't expecting that. It's been
Alright.
kind of peaceful with me roaming around, even though I felt sad that I didn't like it there, but I didn't really disturb too much to really rile it up, if anything.
No,
I
it's
wonder
'cause
if
we're-
all that talk of arson may have caused.
I don't know, but all I know is that fucking. Assuming it. What was the guy's name again? The guy that killed himself?
Maxwell.
Well, I don't give a shit, but Maxwell, if you're listening, piss off.
I have the feeling that more or less like just doesn't like having strangers in the property or possibly towards the
No.
part of touching its belongings.
Maybe one of the spirits in the graveyard is for that, but him specifically, it didn't start until we were messing with object of his obsessive hatred.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely tied to the ship.
He
He
doesn't
is
like.
most definitely tied to the ship, probably.
From what I'm assuming with the ship there is that it could have been the father or the person that he was obsessing over. It could have been something that belonged to to the old man, potentially.
Maybe.
And it could
I
have
look
just
at
been the
Francis,
last.
who has gone turkey.
It
I'm like,
could have been the last. Like it could have been the last thing that was known from him or remembered of him.
I'll take the journal out of Francis' hand, who apparently is so afraid of fire he's gone catatonic. Is there anything else in here, mentioning the ship other than it being sold and it coming back?
Yeah, there's mention of in one of the parts, because you know what you're looking for now. Yeah, it comes across that the ship was apparently a gift given to his father many years prior from one of the wealthy industrialists that he knew a whole pile of people that were big into big business and stuff. Funnily enough, one of the names mentioned is White that comes across that just sticks out to you. Uh-huh.
Is White the person that gave him the ship, or is it just another one?
As you're reading through it, this comes across like the father might have been involved in some like wannabe Illuminati type thing. You know, like people like, oh, if we buy all these businesses, we'll control everything in this area. And there are a couple of mentions to do with stuff to do with ships. Seems like that was their kind of idea of a name kind of thing for their little group. There is talk in the book of father's little group of friends and stuff when Maxwell was quite young. The further through, there is some more mentions of the ship cropping up in places like, oh, he spent all his time looking at the ship and everything. Clearly, he did have a dislike for this, and but then at some point, there's mention of a business meeting he had with a guy. There's no name mentioned, just says like a business friend came around. We were discussing stuff, and they took an interest in the ship. So I offered to sell it to them, and they were only interested in the figurehead, but they paid a pretty penny for it. And it does actually look like he sold all 3 parts, and then they ended up coming back.
Oh, like a bad penny.
You know, how much you want to bet that wheel is in that bathroom?
Oh, with all the blood? Yeah, no, that was where I was thinking. But let me just do one consultation with the ghost at the tree real fast.
Alright.
Go back out to the tree with the journal in hand. I'll hold up the journal with the name out.
When you go out, there's a slight sort of mistiness in the area that it feels like time should have passed, but like visually it doesn't appear so, other than this mist that's appeared. And you get the kind of faint outline of what appears to be a woman in a sort of very long shawl kind of standing there. There's this kind of outline.
I'll hold up the book with the name out. Is this the person holding us here?
There's a shift in it, almost like the person's looking across. And you think you see a head nod. There seems to be this slight shift in the shape that implies a nod.
Yeah, if you actually can't understand me, then hold up your left hand for yes, right hand for no.
Cain's gonna be kind of standing out, like right here in the bedroom exit. So
you don't really react to the yes no thing.
Ah, damn.
So it's Maxie boy, huh?
Well, it was that or his father.
I'm betting it's Maxie boy.
Well, he was suspect 1, but I'm trying to compile evidence just in case, because being wrong on who
Fair.
the ghost is very bad.
That is fair.
Yeah,
Like I said,
for a moment, Cain, you could believe you would bet money that you heard a slight breeze, almost like somebody whispering the name Maxwell. Like in a very sort of breathy way, you know, like.
And as I'm heading back in,
I'm picking that up.
That
we
was a
kind of
bit-
got the we got
Yeah.
I got
part
it.
of
I
it.
heard it.
Mhm.
All right.
It's like you get like the you get the feeling of like M.A. well.
No,
Like
I said
Mawell.
I said Maxwell.
I know,
you-
but it's like the way
Anyway.
your mic picked it up. It was like
Yeah.
ma well.
All right, well,
fair enough.
let's go break down a door.
Oh, what I've been waiting for.
Yeah, I see. Also, this is why I'm signing you up for investigation classes.
Fair.
And this is where we will stop for the night.
Yeah, we fade out on the group sort of congregating in front of this really manky, blood-smelling door.
As
And
Cain
everyone getting
pulls out the
ready to
sledgehammer.
smash. Yeah, Cain's whipping out the sledgehammer, getting ready for the strike. He goes to strike it, and that's when the frame freezes. To be continued.
And you hear the
That's the whole. God damn it.
Yeah, you get the most epic blue balls at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
No, that is the whole to be continued meme.
Until next time.
On Waystone Mysteries. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.
ah, we were so close.
We were. God damn it, Karsa.